Chapter 700. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow cultivated diligently, as did Yun Huang and Ling Long. They fought fiercely every day to practice their combat skills. Night Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He cultivated quietly while waiting for news from Wu Lingfei. After another half a month of quiet cultivation, Wu Lingfei came to the lakeside. Sikong Chiyu made tea, and Wu Lingfei told him about the current situation. How Ian City had completely floated up from the realm sea, but no one could approach it, not even a saint. That was because most of the destructive energy in the spatial turbulence was of the highest attribute. Even a saint couldn't withstand it. Doesn't that mean How Ian City is of little value right now? Who can get close to the destructive energy? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Not exactly. As time passes, the energy will weaken. You can still approach it, Wu Lingfei explained. I see. Where do we set off? Night Sorrow asked. Anytime. Now, all the forces are stationed on some islands in the periphery of the sea. Tianji Tower also occupies an island. It won't be inconvenient for us to go, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Then I can go anytime, Night Sorrow said with a nod. Aoi, Yanglei, and Chuyu, if you want to go, you can go too. Take it as an experience, Wu Lingfei said with a smile when she saw that Aoi and the others couldn't bear to part with Night Sorrow. We can go too. That's great, Yang Lei said excitedly. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, the island Tianji Tower occupies is not small. There are demon beasts and materials on it. Your god-slaying squad can also go there to gain experience. After that, Night Sorrow went to gather the members of the god-slaying squad. Then, they took the teleportation array to Haohai City in the Qingtian region. From now on, you guys won't be able to use your mounts because this realm C will attack venerated realm experts and void inquiry stage cultivators who are cultivating their spirit C. Get on a flying ship. Wu Lingfei waved her hand, and a flying ship that was 20 zhong asterisk 3, 33 m per zhong, long appeared in front of everyone. Night Sorrow then led the group into the sky ship. Wu Lingfei installed the spirit stones and controlled the sky ship. At the same time, she taught the members of the god-slaying team how to operate the sky ship. This thing is a treasure, Ho Jin said with some emotion. It's not easy to make a flying ship. Normally, only the King City Lord Manor has one. Night Sorrow, refine this, and you'll be able to control it. Wu Lingfei threw a crystal to Night Sorrow. Ani Fei, is this appropriate? Night Sorrow asked. It's appropriate. Our Eastern Xian region still has 2 sky ships. It's enough. This sky ship doesn't belong to the Eastern Xian region. It's one of Auntie Fei's battle spoils. Auntie Fei is a saint now. She doesn't need it. Wu Lingfei shook her head at Night Sorrow. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow refined the crystal. Night Sorrow also gained control of the sky ship. After flying for a day in the direction that Wu Lingfei pointed out, the group arrived at an island. Then they landed. There were a few big tents on the island. After Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow to arrange for them to set up camp, she brought Night Sorrow, Yin Huang, and Ling Long to the big tent in the middle. In the big tent in the middle, Night Sorrow and the others saw Xielan Jun, Lin Yuandao, Guo Xiao, Lu Trinswan, and Tai Shuyan. It could be said that all the higher-ups of Tianji Tower were there. 3 venerables of the younger generation. This is very good. Xielan Jun looked at Night Sorrow and the others with satisfaction. After greeting each other, Night Sorrow and the others went out of the tent. Wu Lingfei also followed them out. Do you see it? That's Haotian City. The surrounding islands are stationed with experts from various regions and forces. At present, there are no experts below the Venerable Realm here. Our Eastern Xian region's people are also on the east side of this island. Long Xiansheng is also here, but he doesn't like to meet people. You can go and meet him because he said so, Wu Lingfei said. Then, under the leadership of Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow went to meet Long Xiansheng. Very good. It hasn't been long since I last saw you. You have cultivated to this level. It's very rare. Long Xiansheng looked at Night Sorrow and said, Senior, Thank you for taking care of Night Sorrow that day. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said, he knew who Long Xianxing was. He was the dragon turtle king that he had met in the Eastern Ice Sea. At that time, he didn't make things difficult for him and even gave him a lot of Xian turtle crystals and blood spirit turtle crystals. Night Sorrow was very grateful. It's nothing. Your body is also close to the venerable realm. It's very amazing. You're also a person favored by the heavenly Tao. If you work hard, you will definitely have extraordinary achievements. I have high hopes for you. Long Xianxing nodded at Night Sorrow. Then, Long Xianxing asked Night Sorrow a few more questions. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left Long Xuanxing's tent. Because Wu Lingfei and Long Xianxing still had things to talk about, Night Sorrow returned to the camp of the God-slaying team. Domain Lord, Night Sorrow is extraordinary. If everything goes well, he will have extraordinary achievements in the future. You must pay more attention to him. Long Xianxing said to Wu Lingfei. His cultivation talent is very high. In addition, he is also very hardworking. It is very rare for him to cultivate to this level in a few years. Wu Lingfei said. He has the origin energy in his body. This is a fact. The void attribute is also a supreme attribute. If everything goes well, his achievements will be immeasurable. He will surpass you and me. Long Xianxing said. Senior, you know that he has the void attribute? Wu Lingfei was very surprised, because if one didn't fight and didn't use their energy, it was very difficult to discover the attribute. Night Sorrow had hidden it very well. So far, no one had discovered it. Yes, this is a special ability of mine. The supreme attribute has never appeared before. If he can enter the Great Title Hall, he will definitely get title. At that time, he will have the luck to support him. He will be even more amazing. Heroes emerge in troubled times. Long Xianxing said with a sigh. There are many young experts in the West Nether region, South Li region, and Qingtian region. Even the time attribute venerables have appeared. Wu Lingfei was very worried that Ji Yuhao would be a threat to Night Sorrow. This is a chaotic world, and heroes are born in chaotic times. However, not everyone can become the king of heroes. You don't have to worry about it. Just wait for the appearance of Clear Sky City. I hope that our Eastern Profound domain will be able to obtain something. I also want to go and look for something. Long Xianxing said. Senior, do you need my help to find something? Wu Lingfei asked. No need. If that thing is in Clear Sky City, I can naturally find it. If it is not, then no one can help. Long Xianxing said. Is it very important? Wu Lingfei asked. She wanted to help Long Xianxing because Long Xianxing was the mainstay of Eastern Profound region. Chapter 701. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After that, Long Xianxing did not hide anything from Wu Lingfei. He had received instructions from the remnant soul of his ancestor. His ancestor had fallen in Clear Sky City, perishing together with his opponent. In Clear Sky City, his shell was the Xuanwu sacred armor. Wu Lingfei nodded. She understood that she could not help in such a matter. Domain Lord, the birth of Haoyan City will be accompanied by a storm of blood. The Tianji Tower is upright and generous, but it is hard to say about the saints of other domains. So, you must be careful. Some ordinary spiritual treasures are not a problem, but if a sacred treasure appears, it will be a life and death battle. Long Xianxing said to Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei understands. Thank you for your advice. Wu Lingfei said. Long Xianxing had watched her grow up in the East Snow Mountain. He was worthy of being called a senior. Pay attention to the Western Nether region. There were 3 experts on the continent. One was Yi Tian of the Night Moon Dynasty, and the other was the heavenly underworld saint of the Western Nether region. Under such circumstances, it is impossible for him not to come. He is an extremely selfish person. He can do anything. Long Xianxing said. Is he very strong? Wu Lingfei asked. Very strong. He was injured by me once in the past, so it is certain that he will be hostile to our Eastern Xian region. This is also a disaster caused by me. Long Xianxing said. I see, but it is nothing. Whoever dares to provoke our Eastern Xian region, we will fight to the end. Wu Lingfei said. Yishang returned to the camp and entered the tent that Ma Zhuang and the others had prepared for him. Then, he brewed a pot of tea. However, he still couldn't calm down. Long Xiansheng was a huge dragon turtle. This had a huge impact on him. Looking at Night Sorrow, who was in deep thought, Aoi and the others did not disturb him. After drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow's mood stabilized. According to Wu Lingfei, life could not be divided into human and demon beasts. It should be said that they were different races. Then, Night Sorrow called Shuel Ling and Ho Jian and let them lead the god-slaying team freely. Then, Night Sorrow briefly explained the situation to the three girls. So that senior helped you before? How unexpected, Sikong Chiyu said in surprise. Yes, back then, he didn't make things difficult for me and even gave me resources. It's clear that this senior is very open-minded, Night Sorrow said. 2 hours later, Wu Lingfei returned. Night Sorrow, let's go. Ani Fei will take you to the beach. Night Sorrow nodded and followed Wu Lingfei to the beach. Baidu search, AI go, female sign, Xiao, say www.aichuxs.com. This is the border between the Desolate Sea and the Realm Sea, so there are no attacks from the Realm Sea. Let's take a closer look. Wu Lingfei wrapped Night Sorrow in energy and rushed towards Clear Sky City, which could only be vaguely seen from the island. Did Clear Sky City rise from the sea? Night Sorrow asked curiously. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, yes, this may be fate. For example, the formation loosened, or the seal was broken, or it sank to the bottom of the sea. Because of some changes in the energy at the bottom of the sea, it led to the birth of Hao Tian City. They were still some distance away from Clear Sky City, but they couldn't get any closer because they were blocked by the black and red energy. Before they could get close to the black and red energy, Night Sorrow felt the horror of the energy. AI, Gob Xiao say, this is a spatial turbulence that contains a very strong destructive energy. Saints can't use the power of rules because the destructive element in this spatial turbulence also has the power of rules. Saints can't resist it and can only wait for it to dissipate, Wu Lingfei said. It's really scary. If we go in, we will be destroyed, Night Sorrow said. Actually, this is a bit like a formation, but I don't understand it. But it doesn't matter. During this time, the energy surrounding Clear Sky City has weakened. It's not as strong as before, Wu Lingfei said. Then let's wait until the energy weakens. If there is an opportunity, there will still be one. It's useless to think about it now, Night Sorrow said. Your mentality is good, but it won't work here. It's mainly because of the Heaven Sealing Hall. Obtaining a title will give you luck. With luck, you can change some things and even rob others of their opportunities. It's always good to go in early, Wu Lingfei said. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow understood a little. That was to say, there was still a need to snatch and compete. The lords of the three imperial cities were all Saint Kings. What is a Saint King? They are the masters of the Saint Realm, the kings of the Saint Realm. It's easy to leave something behind in the cities they are in charge of. So if you go in first, you have the advantage, Wu Lingfei said. What happened in the War of the Gods? The Saint Kings disappeared, 2 of the 3 imperial cities disappeared, and 1 was damaged. What kind of battle could be so fierce? Night Sorrow still didn't understand. There's no way to know. The people from back then are all dead, so they didn't leave behind any clues. This is the biggest secret from the ancient times until now. Without the investiture of the gods, the 9 regions world wouldn't have become the 9 regions, 18 prefectures. As for snatching opportunities, you have to pay attention to it. Think about it. The pagoda of time and space was found in the destroyed Zhongzhou city. Clear Sky City is an unexplored imperial city. Who knows what kind of opportunities and dangers there are? Wu Lingfei explained the importance of the problem to Night Sorrow. After observing from the periphery, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow back to the island and went to Night Sorrow's tent. We still have to find a way to enter Clear Sky City first. In addition, you have to be careful. This time is different from the time when we went to Taichuan. At that time, we were united against the outside world, so there was no civil war. Now, we are all here to search for treasures. There are no restrictions on fighting, so a battle can happen at any time. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Wu Lingfei left. She explained everything clearly to Night Sorrow. The rest of the problem was left for Night Sorrow to think about by himself. Then, Night Sorrow asked Yang Lei where Yun Huang and Ling Long had gone, because he hadn't seen them since he came back half a day ago. People from the Yun dynasty came, so Yun Huang went to the Yun dynasty to have a look. Ling Long also went to her family and will come back later, Si Kongqi said. Well, that's good. Their ancestors will also warn them. Night Sorrow nodded and said, no one knew when Supreme Sky City would officially come into being. Everyone was also waiting. Night Sorrow recalled that the Venerable One from the Night Moon dynasty did not come, which meant that they were one step behind the others. Thinking up to this point, Night Sorrow grew somewhat anxious. After all, there were many things involved. Opportunities, karmic luck, and so on were things that Night Sorrow needed. Night Sorrow then went to Wu Lingfei's tent. You're here. Is something the matter? Wu Lingfei asked. This time, the saints and venerables from the various factions have all come, but the people from the Night Moon Empire didn't come. My sixth uncle must also need such an opportunity, said Night Sorrow. That's a problem. You don't have to worry about that. They already know about this, and they're already here. It's just that they're rather secretive, so no one knows about it. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Chapter 702. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go/Small. Shua Net provides you with wonderful novels to read. They're here. I didn't know about that. Night Sorrow said with some surprise. This matter needs to be kept a secret. After all, the major dynasties don't attack the Night Moon dynasty. If they fight outside the Night Moon dynasty, that group of people will do anything. Their leader is also a shameless person, so Xie Changlao has other arrangements. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow. This arrangement is very good. This way, there won't be any loopholes. Night Sorrow nodded and felt a lot more at ease. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. What did you do in such a hurry? Seeing Night Sorrow return, Si Kongqi asked. Yishang smiled and told him about his worries, as well as the news he had received. That's good. You really have a lot of things to worry about. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow had nothing to do, so he settled down and cultivated. Hao Ian City was not open yet, so it was better to improve his cultivation. Aoi, Yang Lei, and Si Kongqi followed the god-slaying team. They practiced combat on the island and collected some resources and materials. This island was very big, and there were many monsters. Night Sorrow meditated and cultivated in the tent, while Tianyu lay outside. Night Sorrow cultivated his foundation at night. During the day, he cultivated his movement skills and spear skills. In addition, he cultivated his compatibility with the Space Splitter Spear. Compatibility was a very important thing. With Night Sorrow's current cultivation, he could only wield a low-level spiritual artifact. Without compatibility, a high-level spiritual artifact would be no different from a normal weapon in his hand. It would just be slightly stronger. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, Fast 7 on March 4th. After cultivating for a few days, Night Sorrow thought that he should pay a visit to Long Xianxing. After all, Long Xianxing had helped him a lot. In addition, Long Xianxing was also the pillar of the Eastern Profound region. Night Sorrow carried the two spears and went to the Eastern Profound domain. After greeting Lei Hua and Kuan Nan, he went along Xuanqing's tent. Standing in front of the tent, Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment, worried that he might disturb Long Xianxing. Why are you hesitating when you're already here? Long Xianxing opened the tent and walked out. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said, I wanted to pay you a visit, but I was worried that I would disturb your cultivation. It's nothing. Can you use these two high-grade spirit spears? Long Xianxing looked at the reincarnation spear and space splitting spear on Night Sorrow's back and asked, Love, go little say, W Chu. One of them is the spear that I've been using since I started cultivating. It's an advanced spear, so it's still compatible with me. As for the other one, I need to cultivate its compatibility with me. Night Sorrow said. I see. I understand now. Long Xianxing nodded. Night Sorrow took out a teapot and began to make tea. Long Xianxing took out a cattail hassock and sat down. Seniors Kuan Nan and Lei Hua, come and have some tea too. Night Sorrow greeted them. No need. Give me a jar of your good wine. Lei Hua waved his hand at Night Sorrow. Kuan Nan also had the same intention. Since there's wine, we won't have to drink tea. Serve the wine, Long Xianxing said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, he waved his hand at Tianyu, asking him to go and catch some prey. After that, he took out a few jars of wine and placed them on the table. That mount of yours is incredible. It's at the peak void inquiry stage, and it hasn't reached adulthood yet. Its future achievements will certainly be extraordinary, Long Xianxing said after watching Tianyu fly away. It's not just a mount. It's also my partner. It's a partner that will go through life and death with me. Night Sorrow said. He had never treated Tianyu as a simple mount. That's a good idea. Only by respecting each other will the compatibility be high. Only then can we truly live and die together. Long Xianxing nodded. After a while, Tianyu came back with a gray bear. Night Sorrow was very fast. After cleaning up, he started a fire and roasted the meat. Night Sorrow finished roasting the meat and opened the jar of wine. However, when he called Lei Hua and Kuan Nan over, the two of them were unwilling to come over. It was mainly because they were a little reserved, because Long Xianxing gave them a lot of pressure. Spirit. How can you achieve great things if you don't have spirit? Long Xianxing glared at Lei Hua and Kuan Nan. That was why Lei Hua and Kuan Nan came over to drink and eat meat. Night Sorrow was very restrained. He only drank one jar and didn't drink anymore. Night Sorrow, this name is very good. Although you are a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, you grew up in the Eastern Profound region. Therefore, I have a few words to say. The state of mind and temperament determine one's achievements. The difference between a young man and an experienced man is stability. You have to pay attention to the cultivation of your state of mind. The state of mind is actually more important than your cultivation realm. Seeing that Night Sorrow had stopped drinking, Long Xianxing said, Junior is a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, but I also consider myself as a person of the Eastern Profound region. If something happens in the Eastern Profound region, Night Sorrow, will not escape. Night Sorrow nodded to Long Xianxing and said what was in his heart. It could also be considered as a promise. All right, these words are enough. If you have any doubts or problems in the future, you can come to me. In addition, I will remind you a few words. Don't let the matter of how Ian City affect you. It is really hard to say when how Ian City will appear. It may be 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years, or even 30 to 50 years. Long Xianxing said, So long? Didn't you say that the energy wrapping around how Ian City is slowly dissipating? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. That is just the periphery. The space turbulence that really wraps around how Ian City has a trajectory and won't dissipate so easily. However, this is also a good place for cultivation. All right, go back. Come back if you have something to do. Long Xianxing got up and returned to the tent. Night Sorrow nodded to Lei Hua and Kuan Nan and returned to the tent on the side of Tianji Tower. After entering the tent and drinking a mouthful of water, Night Sorrow fell into contemplation. It was hard to say when How Ian City would appear. If he delayed other things while waiting for How Ian City to appear, the gains would not make up for the losses. Thinking of this, Night Sorrow suddenly felt that Long Xianxing's words were very reasonable. The state of mind was very important. One must be steady at all times. Shaking his head, Night Sorrow went out of the tent, took out the alchemy furnace, and began to refine pills. Although refining pills would delay the cultivation of true qi and the cultivation of the Myriad Tao Tome, it could quickly improve the strength of the soul. The most important point was that Night Sorrow wanted to strengthen his alchemy skills and enter the realm of Alchemy Grandmaster. Then, he would be able to refine Dragon Spirit pills. One must know that Dragon Spirit pills were very helpful to venerables. It could be said that it was more effective than any spirit stones. Taking out the alchemy furnace, Night Sorrow used low-grade materials to get the feeling. He had not refined pills for a long time, and it was very important to get familiar with the feeling. After refining a few furnaces of pills, Night Sorrow began to refine Tier 4 pills. He intended to use them to improve his proficiency. Wu Lingfei came and then sat down to meditate. There was no one around Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow did not want to be disturbed when he was refining pills. After refining a few furnaces of Jingxian pills, Night Sorrow went back to refining low-grade pills. He wanted to refine the best low-grade pills, which was also the mark of an alchemy grandmaster. Being able to refine the best pills without pill toxins and Tier 6 pills was the standard of an alchemy grandmaster. Chapter 703. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go Divided by Xiao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Failure. Failure. Failure again. Yishang's refinement was refined to perfection. Low-level pills couldn't withstand his refinement. However, he wasn't in a hurry. He found a sense of accomplishment in his failures. He could afford to squander low-level materials. His storage rings were filled with alchemy materials. Baidu search, love go female sign, Xiao, Shuak, www.aichux. Some seeing Night Sorrow's failure. He directly waved his sleeve to clean up the dregs. Then, he continued to refine pills. Wu Lingfei knew what Night Sorrow was doing. She knew that Night Sorrow wasn't doing alchemy for pills, but to improve his alchemy skills. Furnace after furnace of defective pills turned into ashes under Night Sorrow's sleeve. However, Night Sorrow didn't care about this. He found the reason for failure every time, and found the reason for failure to lay the foundation for the next furnace. After more than 20 furnaces of qi refining pills failed, Night Sorrow successfully refined a furnace of top-grade qi refining pills. When the pills came out, Night Sorrow directly threw one in his mouth and then refined it to feel whether there was any pill poison. Persistent. Crazy. This was Wu Lingfei's evaluation of Night Sorrow. She guessed that Night Sorrow didn't notice her coming. He was wholeheartedly focused on alchemy. After feeling for a while and finding that there was no pill poison, Night Sorrow stood up, waved his arm, and growled. Can't you drink some tea and then slowly refine? Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, you're here. This matter needs to be done in one go. Feeling is very important. Without feeling, my previous refining experience will be wasted. Night Sorrow said. Yes. Why are you thinking about alchemy? Why aren't you practicing spear arts? Wu Lingfei asked. It's like this. Senior Long Xiansheng said that we don't know when this Haoyan city will appear. It might take a long time. We can't let this matter disrupt our cultivation plan. Night Sorrow explained Long Xuanqing's analysis. Wu Lingfei nodded. That makes sense. In fact, Anifei also noticed that the energy is very condensed. It won't dissipate in a short time. We can't let this matter affect our normal cultivation. I plan to raise my alchemy level and refine the Dragon Spirit pill. Night Sorrow revealed his plans. You're right. We shouldn't interrupt our cultivation plan because of Haoyan City, which we don't know when it will appear. Wu Lingfei felt that she had almost affected Night Sorrow. After drinking some tea, Night Sorrow continued to refine elixirs. After successfully refining the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Night Sorrow continued to refine and strengthen his proficiency. After refining the qi refinement elixir into the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Night Sorrow began to refine the soul-gathering elixir. After failing twice, Night Sorrow also successfully refined the top-grade soul-gathering elixir. After refining 2 furnaces, Night Sorrow went to rest. With such a high-intensity alchemy, Night Sorrow was also very tired. You're going to provide a large number of elixirs to the Night Moon Empire, Wu Lingfei said with some emotion. Yes, and I'm also going to give a batch to the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The rise of a person will lead the development of the entire sect. The Medicine Valley is really a typical example. Wu Lingfei said, my cultivation path began in the Medicine Valley, so I won't forget the kindness of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow said, /ZC for head square root V hair after drinking tea. Wu Lingfei entered Night Sorrow's tent to cultivate. She was also guarding Night Sorrow and not letting Night Sorrow be disturbed when refining elixirs. After successfully refining the second-grade soul gathering elixir, Night Sorrow also turned the second-grade materials in his hand into the top-grade soul gathering elixir. Then Night Sorrow continued to move towards the third-grade soul congealing elixir to refine the top-grade soul congealing elixir. Although it was a little difficult, Night Sorrow still succeeded in refining it. Then Night Sorrow continued to refine, turning all the materials into elixirs. After watching Night Sorrow refine a furnace of elixirs, Wu Lingfei said, "Your alchemy skills are really good. The quality of the elixirs is high, and your refining speed is also first class. An alchemy grandmaster is amazing and respected everywhere. There are too few alchemy grandmasters in the 9 regions world. Our Tianji Tower only has one alchemy grandmaster." Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, "Some time ago, I fought with several dynasties and robbed a lot of materials. Now, I'm going to improve my proficiency. If my proficiency is higher, I'll fail less when refining the Dragon Spirit Elixir. After all, the materials are too precious, and it's not worth it to lose too much. The difficulty is that I don't have the materials for the beginner's 6th grade elixir. If I directly refine the intermediate 6th grade Dragon Spirit Elixir, I don't know how many times I'll fail." Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "You mean the materials for the 6th grade auxiliary elixir, the Origin Spirit Elixir?" "Yes, the Origin Spirit Elixir is an auxiliary elixir for the Supremacy Realm. It's a beginner's 6th grade elixir. The Dragon Spirit Elixir is an intermediate 6th grade elixir. The difficulty of refining it is definitely different." Night Sorrow nodded. Wu Lingfei thought for a moment and said, "You might not have the materials elsewhere, but Tianji Tower should have them. How about this? Ani Fei will ask. At worst, you can give the elixirs you refine to Tianji Tower. You just need to improve your proficiency in the refining process. If the Emperor in Extreme Tower has it, that would be the best. I'll practice my alchemy skills a bit more. The failure rate of refining the Origin Spirit Pill should be very low. The Emperor in Extreme Tower shouldn't suffer any losses," said Yishan. Wu Lingfei then left to discuss this matter with Lin Yuandao, Hua Haining, and the others. Currently, Tianji Tower's materials were under Hua Haining's control. He was also an alchemy grandmaster. In a large tent of Tianji Tower, Lin Yuandao and the others were talking. After Wu Lingfei came and sat down, she talked about Night Sorrow's current situation. He can now refine the best quality spirit congealing pill, which is almost the same as my alchemy level. He can refine the Origin Spirit Elixir, but it's not appropriate for him to give all the elixirs to Tianji Tower. Hua Haining said, Yes. We can't oppress the younger generation, oppress our young master." Wishao also laughed. This bastard boy still doesn't realize that he is the young master, and he doesn't realize the many authorities of the young master. He could directly find Elder Hua for this kind of thing. Lutrin Swan said with a smile, "It's mainly based on the fact that he doesn't want to take advantage of anyone, so he's unwilling to open his mouth. This guy also persisted to the extreme." Xiaolanjun said, "Before going to the Supreme River Space, he said that for 20 years, he would look up to the sky and bow his head to the earth. Perhaps this is his philosophy and pursuit. We don't want to change him. As for his sense of belonging to Tianji Tower, you can also feel it. There is no problem." Wu Lingfei said, "Well, let's do as Master Wu Kei says. What we need is a young master with strength of character and pride." Xiaolanjun expressed her opinion. "I'm happy that Tianji Tower has another alchemy grandmaster. You don't have to oppress me in the future," Hua Haining said with a smile. Chapter 704. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then let's go and have a look later. Hua Haining was quite interested. 2 and SN version, first V release. Where are the materials? Who's going to make the arrangements? This can't be delayed. Wu Lingfei said. That's not a problem. I have the materials for the Spirit of Origin pill in my storage ring. I plan to find some time to refine it. I can give it to him, Hua Haining said. They then arrived at Knight Sorrow's tent. Seniors, why are you all here? Is something the matter? Knight Sorrow looked at them in surprise. Can't I come here for no reason? The main reason is that we heard that our young master is already an alchemy grandmaster, so we came to take a look. Just do what you need to do and pretend that we are not here, Xiaolan Jun said. Seniors, please take a seat. Knight Sorrow nodded at them. After sorting out his thoughts, he continued to refine. For ordinary people, being watched by the big shots of the extreme heaven tower would make them nervous and likely to fail. However, this didn't exist for Yishang, so he continued to refine his own pills. Furnace after furnace of supreme grade spirit congealing pills were successfully refined. In the middle, Hua Haining looked at the best grade spirit congealing pill refined by Knight Sorrow. After looking at it, he nodded with satisfaction because it was the same as the medicinal pill he refined. Love, go, little say, Knight Sorrow continued to refine medicinal pills, and bottles of top-grade spirit congealing pills entered his storage ring. It's faster than my refining speed. In 2 hours, this guy has refined dozens of bottles of the best spirit congealing pills. Hua Haining said in a low voice. He has a lot of materials, and now he wants to turn them all into pills, Wu Lingfei said. Knight Sorrow was very engrossed in refining pills and didn't pay attention to Lin Yuan Dao and the others. However, Lin Yuan Dao and the others didn't have any intention of leaving. They just sat there and watched Knight Sorrow refine pills. After refining more than 100 bottles of the best spirit congealing pills, Knight Sorrow took out the materials of the rank 4 medicinal pills. After dividing the materials, he began to refine the best rank 4 medicinal pills. Knight Sorrow did not mind his failure. With a wave of his sleeve, he shook off the dregs of the pill and continued to refine. Hua Haining wanted to stop her, but as soon as he stood up, Xiaolan Jun stopped him. After Knight Sorrow failed, he waved his sleeves and continued to refine. Hua Haining anxiously paced back and forth because a top grade 4th tier pill could only be refined by a mid-tier alchemy grandmaster. However, Xiaolan Jun glared at him, not allowing him to speak. After failing more than 10 times, Knight Sorrow did not give up. He continued to search for the reason for his failures. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow continued to refine. This time, he was much slower. It took him an hour to finish refining, but he did not fail this time. After the medicinal pills came out of the furnace, he put the medicinal pills into the bottle. After Knight Sorrow ate one himself, he meditated and began to refine it. Hua Haining picked up the medicinal pill bottle beside Knight Sorrow, took out a medicinal pill and studied it, then nodded to Lin Yuan Dao and the others. At this time, Knight Sorrow also stood up. After a long time, this best quality spirit calming pill has finally been refined. From today onwards, you are the #1 alchemy grandmaster of Tianji Tower. This king can only refine the best quality medicinal pills below the 3rd rank. I am powerless to refine the best quality medicinal pills of the 4th rank. Hua Haining said. Elder Hua is too serious. Knight Sorrow said with a cupped fist salute. It's not serious at all. This is the main material and auxiliary material of the rank 6 medicinal pill, Origin Spirit Pill. You can use it to practice your proficiency. Hua Haining took out the materials of the Origin Spirit Pill and then gave them to Knight Sorrow. Thank you, but I don't want any medicinal pills. I just want to practice my proficiency. This way, I will have more confidence in refining the mid-rank 6 Dragon Spirit Pill. Knight Sorrow said. Take it. In the future, when Tianji Tower lacks medicinal pills, you can help us refine them. This way, our Tianji Tower can cultivate more talents. Xiaolan Jun said. That's not a problem. I can refine as long as I have the materials. It won't waste much time. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. After drinking tea with Knight Sorrow for a while, Lin Yuan Dao and the others left. However, Wu Lingfei didn't leave. If you have nothing to do, take a rest and refine again. It's okay. It's nothing. Once I practice, I can refine whenever I want in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow gave up on the idea of refining top-rank 5 medicinal pills because it was unrealistic. Only a high-level alchemy grandmaster could do it. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow didn't refine any high-rank medicinal pills. Instead, he turned all the materials below rank 5 into medicinal pills. This took 4 days. Feeling a little tired, Night Sorrow stopped refining pills. He practiced his spear arts and drank tea to calm his emotions. Lin Yuandao and the others didn't disturb Night Sorrow. Hua Haining was stimulated because he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand Night Sorrow's situation. Elder Hua, don't you know that there's an ability called talent? Night Sorrow's talent is something that ordinary people can't do. Why are you blindly thinking about it? Xiaolan Jun said to Hua Haining, who had been pondering. Talent. This is talent. After listening to Xiaolan Jun's words, Hua Haining understood and no longer thought about why he couldn't do it. After resting for a while and sorting out his thoughts, Night Sorrow took the materials of the Origin Spirit pill and began to refine a rank 6 medicinal pill. After failing on the first try, Yishang thought for a moment before continuing. Following this, he succeeded on the second try, which made Yishang feel quite confused. He was worried that he had made a mistake, so he took the medicinal pill to Hua Haining to appraise. Hua Haining looked at the medicinal pill and nodded to Night Sorrow. There is no problem with the Origin Spirit pill. What's the matter? Are you confused? Xiaolan Jun looked at Night Sorrow and asked, I succeeded in refining the second furnace. I was worried that I had refined it wrong, so I came to ask Elder Hua. There is no problem with the medicinal pill. Night Sorrow said, Hey, you are hitting people. Just because it was easy to refine, you suspect that you have refined it wrong? If you can refine a top-grade spirit congealing pill, you are an alchemy grandmaster and you can refine the Origin Spirit pill. If you can refine a rank 4 top-grade medicinal pill, then there will be no problem with refining the Origin Spirit pill. Hua Haining looked depressed. He rushed to the alchemy grandmaster level, but it took a lot of effort, but Night Sorrow could do it easily. Smiling embarrassedly at Hua Haining and the others, Night Sorrow left the big tent of Tianji Tower. Back in his tent, Night Sorrow continued to refine. After a day, Night Sorrow turned all the materials Hua Haining gave him into Origin Spirit pill. At this time, he began to refine the Dragon Spirit pill. These days of refining medicinal pills, Night Sorrow was laying the foundation for refining the Dragon Spirit pill. He took out the 5-clawed pterosaur blood and then began to prepare the auxiliary materials. After the materials were sorted out, Night Sorrow began to refine. He was very careful. Although he had a lot of materials for the Dragon Spirit pill, they were too precious. If he failed, it would be a big loss. When Night Sorrow was refining the Dragon Spirit pill, Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining came over. Hua Haining watched anxiously. He knew what Yishang was refining. It was a pill that supremacy cultivators yearned for even in their dreams. One pill could raise one's cultivation by 1 level. It was absolutely heaven-defying. Night Sorrow was refining very steadily, throwing the materials into the furnace one by one. Time slipped away little by little. After 3 hours, all the auxiliary materials and auxiliary processes were done. Night Sorrow began to fuse, which was the most critical step in refining medicinal pills. Chapter 705. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Divided by Go. Talk Network, providing you with exciting novels to read. At this moment, Hua Haining was even more nervous than Night Sorrow, because he had never heard of anyone who could refine a level 6 middle grade pill, so the Dragon Spirit pill was not in circulation. Love Go Little Say, Kowin condensing the pill, Night Sorrow was a little impatient and directly exploded the furnace, causing Night Sorrow's entire body to be covered in black. Aunt Fei, Elder Hua, you guys are here. It's a pity that this furnace did not succeed. Night Sorrow wiped the black ash off his face and said with a smile, No problem, you're fine. You were just a little impatient just now. If you were a little more stable, you would have succeeded. Hua Haining understood. Rest for a while, then continue. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded, then washed his face and brewed tea. He was not prepared to succeed in one try. The first batch was to scout the way. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to refine. With the experience of the first batch, Night Sorrow succeeded on the second batch. Hua Haining took one and looked at it, then nodded. The energy it contains is astonishing, but it's very gentle. There's no problem. I'll give it to Elder Hua. Also, here are the Origin Spirit Pills. Night Sorrow took out the 20 or so bottles of Origin Spirit Pills he had refined and placed them in front of Elder Hua. Baidu search, AI go female sign, Xiao, say www.aichuxs. Come, I don't need the Dragon Spirit Pill. You keep it. I'll take the Origin Spirit Pill. To you, the Origin Spirit Pill is useless. Hua Haining did not take the Dragon Spirit Pill. He only kept it. He was a peak venerable, so he naturally did not need energy. His breakthrough required him to comprehend the power of rules. Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining left. Yishan found a place with a water source and took a bath. He changed into a new set of robes and returned to his tent. He practiced his spear arts for a while and stretched his body. Looking at the night sky, Night Sorrow went to meditate and cultivate. Since he had succeeded in refining the pill, all he needed to do now was to slowly refine it. After cultivating for a night, the members of the god-slaying team returned. They were all in high spirits, hunting many high-level demonic beasts and obtaining many medicinal herbs. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow gave Ma Zhuang and the others who had not entered the 5th stage a top-grade rank for medicinal pill. After 6 days, Yishang had used up a third of the materials. After refining 200 Dragon Spirit Pills, he stopped because this was a very large number. The Medicine Valley only had 2 venerables, so Yishang only needed to send some back. The Extreme Celestial Tower gave some, the Night Moon Dynasty gave some, and the Eastern Xian region gave some. What was left was enough for Yishang to use. Night Sorrow was much more relaxed now, and he did not think about the problem of refining the pill. Night Sorrow went to the big tent of the Tianji Tower and placed 3 bottles of medicinal pills in front of Lin Yuandao. Here are 30 Dragon Spirit Pills. Master K, you can use them as you see fit. So many? That's great. We have many venerables in the Tianji Tower. Those who have contributed will be rewarded. These Dragon Spirit Pills are the best encouragement, Lin Yuandao said excitedly. If you need anything else, you can look for me, Night Sorrow said. Sigh, Tianji Tower can only help you so much. You've been giving so much. I am ashamed. Xiaolanjun said with a sigh. She was happy, but at the same time, she was very emotional and worried. Grand Elder is too serious. You gave me the movement technique without asking for anything in return. Since I am a member of Tianji Tower, I will do what I can for Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow said, shaking his head. Night Sorrow then gave Wu Lingfei 3 bottles of Dragon Spirit Pills. Aunt Fei, these are for the Eastern Profound region. You can make the arrangements. I don't need so many. 2 bottles will be enough. Wu Lingfei only put away 2 bottles, then shook her head and said, That's fine. Aunt Fei can look for me if you need anything. Night Sorrow nodded. You are a moving treasure trove. Be careful. Don't get robbed. Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile, I have always been the one robbing others. No one has ever robbed me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Lin Yuandao and the others for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. As long as he could help Tianji Tower and the Eastern Profound region, Night Sorrow would help. He liked Tianji Tower's people-oriented development strategy. The higher-ups treated and helped the members of Tianji Tower sincerely. As for the Eastern Profound region, it was the place where he grew up. Night Sorrow naturally wanted to see the Eastern Profound region become stronger. When Night Sorrow was drinking tea, Wu Lingfei came. Aunt Fei is here. Otherwise, I would have gone to look for Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Aunt Fei understands your thoughts. Let's go see Evil King Ling. Wu Lingfei nodded at Night Sorrow. She knew that Night Sorrow would definitely give Night Moon Dynasty resources. Then, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow and flew to the back of the island. At the same time, she told Night Sorrow that when Hao Ian City appeared, Night Moon Dynasty's venerables and Tianji Tower's venerables would act together. However, they were not together at the moment. Tianji Tower felt indebted to Night Moon Dynasty. Therefore, they would do everything they could to help and support them. In a valley, Night Sorrow saw Yi Lingxie and a few other old men. Yi Lingyuan was also there. When he did not see Yi Linglan, Night Sorrow asked. After asking, Night Sorrow found out that Yi Linglan did not come. He was worried about Sky City. He wanted to go to the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall in the future. Then, Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of Dragon Spirit pills and handed them to Yi Lingxie. He explained the effects of the pills. Pills that can help venerables increase 1 level. Yi Lingxie looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Night Sorrow spent a lot of effort to refine these. It was not easy, Wu Lingfei said. This will be a great help to Night Moon Dynasty. Yi Lingxie's hand trembled as he held the pills. Also, I became an alchemy grandmaster. I refined some top-grade pills without pill toxins. 6th uncle, you can distribute them as you see fit. Night Sorrow took out a few storage belts. These were the storage belts that Aoi had given him to store wine. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to distribute his resources. After taking out the storage belts, Night Sorrow explained the classification of the pills. I have to go back. Mistress Wu Kei, I will not accompany you. We can talk later. Yi Lingxie cupped his hands to Wu Lingfei and left the colonel. He was anxious to send a portion of the pills to Night Moon Sea Clan. With this batch of resources, the Night Clan would be even stronger when they left the Night Moon Sea. After exchanging a few words with Yi Lingyuan, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei returned to the camp at Tianji Tower. The rest is the Medicine Valley, right? Later, Aunt Fei will help you send the resources to the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. She understood Night Sorrow and knew what Night Sorrow was thinking. Aunt Fei, take this storage belt. When the time comes, arrange for someone to give it to my master. Night Sorrow took out another storage belt. How can such an important resource be given to someone else? If Aunt Fei has nothing to do, then I will go back. What do you plan to do next? Wu Lingfei asked after putting away the storage belt. Most Z New Chapter Q, Section J, E, and Chapter 706. Genius remembers love in 1 second / small. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. When Long Xianshang said that this was a good place to cultivate, Night Sorrow had an idea and planned to enter the Realm Sea to cultivate. Other places might not be suitable, but this place was. The chaotic space here was very suitable for Night Sorrow to cultivate spatial rend. It was also very suitable for tempering his true chi in Myriad Daos treasure tome. That's a good idea, but it's a little dangerous. If you can't handle it and get sucked in, you'll be in big trouble. Wu Lingfei said worriedly. I'll handle it well. Besides, I have the space-time pagoda to protect me. I'll be fine. Night Sorrow said. That's fine. I'll return to the Eastern Xian region later. I'll help you take care of it. Wu Lingfei said. After saying a few more words to Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei left. She had to go to the Eastern Xian region to distribute the resources. She also had to return to the Eastern Xian region to take care of Night Sorrow's matter. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and sat down to cultivate. It was a little late, and it wasn't suitable for him to cultivate in the Realm Sea. While cultivating, Night Sorrow felt the density of his true chi. He felt that his foundation was very stable. He took out a Dragon Spirit pill and swallowed it. Then he began to cultivate. He wanted to experience the effects of the Dragon Spirit pill. As soon as the pill entered his stomach, its effects took effect. Night Sorrow used the space-time pagoda to cultivate his soul power and bloodline power. The Myriad Daos treasure tome was naturally cultivated. Night Sorrow used all his strength to refine the Dragon Spirit pill. Once he started refining, Yishan couldn't stop because he had to completely refine the medicinal strength of the pill. If he didn't refine it, the medicinal strength of the pill would still be emitted, which would be equivalent to wasting it. Night Sorrow continued refining for more than 20 days. When his cultivation base reached the peak of the first level, he could no longer advance. Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow practiced his spear art for a while before sitting down to drink some tea. Feeling his body, Night Sorrow felt that the dragon spirit pill was indeed overbearing. Raising his cultivation by 1 level was not a lie. What he needed to do next was to stabilize his cultivation as much as possible and increase his control over his Jin Qi. While Night Sorrow was drinking tea, the members of the God-slaying squad returned. "Yeah, everyone's in good shape," Night Sorrow said. "We've been back twice, and you were always in a state of cultivation. It's rare to see you not cultivating," Yang Lei said. "Yes, I ate a pill. Refining it will take some time." Baidu search, loved, go, xiao, shaw, www.aichuxs.com. Night Sorrow laughed. "I'll go. Captain, what's going on?" Yin Huang looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. He realized that Night Sorrow's cultivation base was at the peak of the first level. "I just ate the dragon spirit pill. I used it first to familiarize myself with its medicinal properties. I don't want to spoil you," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Captain is mighty," Ling Long said excitedly. "Yeah, I'll give each of you 3 pills, but there are some things I need to make clear. Before you eat the second pill, you need to settle down properly. If you don't settle down properly, then don't expect to get another pill from me in the future," Yishan said as he looked at Yin Huang and Ling Long. "Love go little say Chu Captain, don't worry. When I want to eat the second pill, I'll definitely ask you," Yin Huang promised. At the same time, Ling Long nodded at Yishan. The two of them wouldn't act recklessly in this matter. "Refining the pill will take a long time. You're almost done with your training. Go back. Ninth senior sister and Chu, you're also about to break through," Night Sorrow said. "When can you go back?" Sikong Chu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "I'll cultivate here and see what's going on," Night Sorrow said. "Captain, Ling Long, and I don't need to go back, right? We can cultivate here in peace. If anything happens, we can deal with it in time," Yin Huang said. Yin Huang voiced his thoughts. He and Ling Long were both venerables. They had to go to Hao Ian City when it appeared. "All right, you two can cultivate here. When you feel that your true qi is condensed and your foundation is solid, go eat the pill. Ling Long's current state is not suitable for the dragon spirit pill," Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Then, Night Sorrow took out the airship and let the members of the God-slaying squad board it. He put down the spiritual stones and led the group to the realm sea near Haohai City. "It's so convenient to have this thing. Without it, we wouldn't be able to cross the realm sea," Yang Lei said. "True, but it's very difficult to make an airship. It's already good to have one," Night Sorrow said. He knew that Wu Lingfei had taken care of him. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to get one. After sending the group to Haohai City and to the teleportation array, Night Sorrow flew back to the island in the Realm Sea. Night Sorrow had the Void Fate Pearl to protect his Spirit Sea. He wasn't afraid of the Realm Sea's law attacks. Flying the airship was convenient, but Night Sorrow wanted to experience the Realm Sea. He wanted to enter the Realm Sea to cultivate. After returning to the camp, Night Sorrow saw that Yin Huang and Ling Long had brought back some wild beasts and were roasting them. "Captain is back. The barbecue will be ready soon. Bring out the wine," Ling Long said. Night Sorrow smiled and took out the wine jug. "Captain, you can refine level 6 medicinal pills. That means you've become a Grandmaster Alchemist," Yin Huang said to Night Sorrow. "The Dragon Spirit Pill is a mid-level level 6 medicinal pill. Logically speaking, I should be a mid-level Grandmaster Alchemist," Night Sorrow said. "Captain, you're amazing. We won't have to worry about medicinal pills in the future," Ling Long said with a smile. After drinking the wine, Night Sorrow told Yin Huang and Ling Long about the importance of their foundation. Then, he flew toward the edge of the Realm Sea. Arriving at the edge of the Realm Sea, Night Sorrow calmed his mind and charged towards the area where the chaotic flows of space were rampant. There was no danger in a place without chaotic flows of space, so there was no point in tempering himself. After leaving the edge of the Realm Sea for some distance, the turbulence appeared. Night Sorrow put up a protective barrier and continued to approach the so-called location of Haotian City. Because they were close to Haotian City, the turbulence was effective for Night Sorrow. As he went deeper into the realm sea, the turbulent energy of the turbulence began to pressure and erode Night Sorrow's protective barrier. Using his movement technique, Night Sorrow sliced back and forth in the spatial turbulence. As he cultivated his movement technique, he honed his cultivation. Thanks to Night Moon's experience in cultivating the spatial rend, Night Sorrow was able to move through the turbulence with ease. His mutated protective barrier had incredible cutting power, and all he could cut through were the cracks in the turbulence. Feeling that he had used up too much energy, Night Sorrow returned to the edge of the realm sea. 5 I starred after thinking for a moment. Night Sorrow found a large piece of dead wood and placed it in his storage ring. When he felt the need to rest, he would have the space-time pagoda land on the wood and enter it to recover. That way, he wouldn't have to go back and forth. After recovering for a bit, Night Sorrow headed back into the realm sea. This time, he went deeper into the chaotic flows of space to work on his movement technique and spear technique. At the same time, he tempered his own true energy, which had just risen to new heights. Chapter 707. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go/Little. I'll provide you with a wonderful novel to read. Wu Lingfei had returned a few days ago. She had sent the resources that Night Sorrow had given to the Medicine Valley to Yu Yangyu and told him about the Dragon Spirit pills. After receiving the resources from the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei made some arrangements for the Eastern Xian region. She also sent out a portion of the Dragon Spirit pills. Qin Nan and the Bloodstrike Guard commander were both venerables. They needed to increase their strength. After making arrangements for the Eastern Xian region, Wu Lingfei went to the Eastern Xian region's camp on the island and gave Lei Hua, Kuan Nan, and the others a few Dragon Spirit pills. Not bad. This little guy is really good. He really wants to help the Eastern Xian region. Long Xiansheng said after learning that Night Sorrow had taken out the Dragon Spirit pills. Wu Lingfei nodded. She was very moved. As the Eastern Xian region's domain lord, she naturally wanted to see the Eastern Xian region rise. Night Sorrow had done this to give the Eastern Xian region a chance. This is an opportunity for the Eastern Xian region. It's a good thing. How's the little guy doing? Long Xianxing asked. He's already a mid-level alchemy grandmaster. I just returned and haven't seen him yet. Wu Lingfei said. What he needs the most is stability. Although it's a chaotic world, we can't put all the pressure on a child. Let him take his time. Long Xianxing said. When Wu Lingfei went to see Night Sorrow had already started cultivating in the domain C. The energy in the spatial turbulence was very terrifying. It was the most violent of all kinds of energy. Anything that came close would be annihilated. Night Sorrow used his spatial energy shield to constantly cut and dodge in the spatial turbulence. Even so, the energy in the spatial turbulence was still very strong against his protective energy shield. Every time his bloodline's energy was almost exhausted, Night Sorrow would use his Void Attribute defensive energy shield. Night Sorrow noticed the difference between the two types of spatial chi shields. The bloodline energy shield was a little faster, but it consumed a lot of energy. The Void Chi barrier's cutting power wasn't as strong as the Space Chi barriers, but its ability to resist attacks was much stronger. It could even be said that it was twice as strong. The only positive are version. Bichia his E and all % are pirated U version. Night Sorrow understood that this was the difference between the supreme attribute and the advanced attribute. The void attribute suppressed the other attributes. No matter what attribute it was, it could not suppress or restrain it. Even the destruction attribute could not do so, so the consumption was small. What Night Sorrow wanted to hone was his true chi, so every time he used up his true chi and innate bloodline energy, he would recover them. When Wu Lingfei saw that Night Sorrow was not in danger, and that he was immersed in cultivation, she sat down at the edge of the realm sea and began to cultivate as well. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow had a new idea. While he was sharpening his true chi and bloodline talent, He could use the Myriad Daos Tome's energy to attack the spatial turbulence. When he recovered, the 3 types of energy could be recovered at the same time. This way, he would be able to increase his strength at the same time. As for soul power, Night Sorrow had Little Kong assist him in his cultivation. As he became more familiar with the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow could go deeper and deeper, and his true chi cultivation base grew more and more condensed. This situation made Yishang very happy. Although his cultivation base did not increase very quickly, it was the most stable way to cultivate. It could be said that he had strengthened his foundation. As he cultivated in the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow's speed increased even with the use of his Void Attribute energy shield. Although he couldn't cut through the spatial turbulence like a Void Attribute energy shield, he still had the ability to melt through it. Night Sorrow was very interested in cultivating, and he didn't feel tired at all. He felt that this was the best way to improve his overall strength. Because he needed to use his soul strength to search for weak spots in the spatial turbulence, it consumed a lot of soul strength. That meant he could improve quickly. Night Sorrow felt that it was the most suitable cultivation method for him to improve all of his abilities. Wu Lingfei didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw Night Sorrow enter the Realm Sea. However, she knew that this was Night Sorrow. He was stubborn and tenacious. After cultivating for a month and a half, Night Sorrow had gone dozens of kilometers into the spatial turbulence. He could go anywhere he wanted, mainly because his movement technique had improved greatly. He felt that he should go back and see how Yin Huang and Ling Long were doing. In addition, he felt that Yi Lingxie should also be back. He also wanted to know how Night Moon's people were doing. Wu Lingfei, who was meditating, also stood up when she sensed that Night Sorrow had returned. You went in for so long. Don't you know how to come out and rest? Wu Lingfei glared at Night Sorrow. The cultivation effect is strong, so I plan to improve myself more. How is the situation in the Medicine Valley? Is there any movement outside? Night Sorrow asked. Everything is good now. The appearance of Hao Ian City diluted some disputes and interests. Everyone's eyes are on it. However, as they investigated, they found that the spatial turbulence outside Hao Ian City is very solid. It has no intention of dispersing on its own, Wu Lingfei said as she led Night Sorrow to the camp. Long Xinshen was right. We can't delay other things because of this. We have to cultivate as we should, Yishang said. That's right. How are you now? Wu Lingfei asked. I can hold on for a while after entering the spatial turbulence. I plan to observe Hao Ian City from a close distance, but I can't do it, Night Sorrow said. You really dare to dream. The spatial turbulence contains violent energy and destructive energy. You still want to get close to Hao Ian City? It's too dangerous. Don't mess around. Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at Night Sorrow. She was really worried that Night Sorrow would be so daring that he would dare to do anything. I went a few dozen kilometers deeper from the area where I stood with Anifei last time. There is no problem with safety. My Void Energy Shield can withstand it, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The Void Energy Shield can indeed ignore the corrosion of all kinds of energy, but you have to leave some leeway for yourself. You must leave enough energy to return. Otherwise, you will be caught off guard, Wu Lingfei said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, she understood why Night Sorrow could withstand it. It was because Night Sorrow's attributes were higher than the attributes in the spatial turbulence. There was no such thing as suppression or restraint. My cultivation base is low. If my cultivation base was high enough, I would be able to pass through the turbulent flow of space. However, it's good to consolidate your cultivation base in the turbulent flow of space. It can make your cultivation base more solid, said Yishang with a smile. Your situation is really special. Anifei can't give you any advice, but you must remember that safety is the most important thing, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Anifei, don't worry. I plan to go to Night Moon Dynasty's camp to see if my 6th uncle has brought back any news, Night Sorrow said as he looked in the direction of Yi Lingxie and the others. Chapter 708. Genius 1 second remember love, go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. When Night Sorrow arrived at the call, Yi Lingxia and the others were cultivating. When they noticed his arrival, they all stood up and bowed to greet him. Yi Lingxia also cupped his hands. The pills have been sent to the family, Yi Lingxia said to Night Sorrow. Then we still need to get some more. After all, the current members of the Night Moon dynasty also need to cultivate and improve their strength, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. He couldn't watch the Night Moon dynasty fall into a state of stagnation. We didn't send all of them in, just a portion. The Night Clan doesn't need so many pills. Sixth Uncle sent them in according to the demand. Right now, there's no problem with the supply of Night Moon's resources. Yi Lingxia shook his head after hearing Night Sorrow's words. He knew that Night Sorrow had misunderstood him and thought that all the pills had been sent in. That's good. If there's still a lack of resources, Sixth Uncle can let me know. Night Sorrow nodded to Yi Lingxia. It's enough. You've taken out so many pills. How is it not enough? Even in the heyday of the Night Moon dynasty, the supply of resources wasn't as abundant as it is now, and the quality wasn't as high. Yi Lingxia shook his head. He felt an inexplicable pressure in his heart because the current Night Moon could be said to be on Night Sorrow's shoulders alone. Then, Night Sorrow and the others sat down. Yi Lingxia talked about the current situation of Night Moon. Night Sorrow also mentioned the reason why Hao Ian City couldn't appear recently. The time is uncertain, but it doesn't affect us much. Night Moon is now managed by the members of the branch. Elder Linglon is fully responsible for Night Moon's matters. There won't be any mistakes, Yi Lingxia said. Currently, our Night Moon needs saints and invincible venerables. We can't help with saints, so we have to create invincible venerables. Sixth Uncle, what's your situation? Asked Night Sorrow. He hoped that Yi Lingxia could enter the invincible venerables realm. Not now, because the Night Moon Sea is an area with dense spatial energy. In the seal, the bloodline power can't be strengthened. Uncle can't enter the invincible venerable level, but he's still at the top of the peak venerables, said Yi Lingxia. In other words, you need to strengthen your bloodline talent now. If you can enter the invincible venerable realm? Night Sorrow asked. That's right. Right now, Sixth Uncle is between a pinnacle honorable and an invincible honorable. But don't worry. When the family reappears, Sixth Uncle can spend some time to go to the family's blessed land to strengthen himself. Yi Lingxia said. Will space crystals work? Night Sorrow asked again. Yes, but where can you get them? You can't get them even with top-grade spirit stones, so you don't have to worry about this. Just take care of yourself. Yi Lingxia patted Night Sorrow's shoulder with a smile. That's good. Take these. Night Sorrow took out 10 space crystals and 20 top-grade spirit stones. Why are there so many? Yi Lingxia stood up excitedly. Uncle, take them to cultivate. In the future, if saints don't interfere, invincible venerables will be the key to victory. You must become an invincible venerable, said Night Sorrow. Take them back. Your future is the most important. Resources should be used where they're needed most. Sixth Uncle can take his time. As long as his bloodline talent is strengthened to the extreme, he can continuously use Space / and become an invincible venerable. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of time. Yi Lingxia didn't take the resources. Uncle, just take them. I have the help of the pagoda of time and space. My own improvement won't be a problem, said Night Sorrow. Yi Lingxia looked at Yi Lingyuan and the others behind him and said, Take back those top-grade spirit stones. Granduncle's cultivation has reached a bottleneck. He doesn't need energy to increase his cultivation. As for them, the dragon spirit pill is enough. All right then, do you need space crystals? Night Sorrow looked at Yi Lingyuan and the others. No need. Our talent is limited. We can't use Space / and can only use Space / The dragon spirit pills are enough. Thank you, young master. Yi Lingyuan and the others bowed. Although they didn't need the space crystal, they were very touched by Yi Shang's words. The space crystal was a top-grade resource, but Yi Shang was willing to take it out for his family. All right, then I'll take my leave. Sixth Uncle, If there's anything, you can find me over there. Night Sorrow pointed in the direction of his camp. Night Sorrow left. Yilingxia was still deep in thought. He was greatly moved. At the same time, he understood that Night Sorrow was really going all out for the family. Prince, Night Moon is lucky to have such a young master, said Yuan. Yes, Night Moon needs time. He also needs time. With his talent, he is destined to become an invincible venerable in the future, and a king among invincible venerables. Even higher achievements won't be a problem, murmured Yilingxia. Yuan and the others didn't know, but Yilingxia knew that Night Sorrow's bloodline far surpassed the ancestors of the Yi clan. When he grew up, his achievements were destined to surpass them. There were records in the Yi clan's ancient records that if one could activate 6 bloodline energy points, they would be able to comprehend space law because they had the power of law. In other words, there was a high chance of entering the Saint Realm. This was also why Yilinghuan could become a half-step saint without an origin stone and continue to strive for the Saint Realm. It was because he had 5 bloodline energy points. Night Sorrow returned to the camp and saw Yun Huang, who was practicing his knife skills. Captain, you've been running for a month and a half. Where did you go? Asked Yun Huang as he put away his scimitars. I went out to cultivate. You need to stabilize your cultivation after eating the dragon spirit pill. Also, it's important to have a high degree of control. Is Ling Long meditating? Asked Night Sorrow. She's been working hard recently. Her foundation is unstable and she can't eat the dragon spirit pill. How can she not be anxious? Said Yun Huang with a smile. It's not good to talk about people behind their backs. Do you understand? Ling Long walked out of the tent. I didn't say anything bad about you, said Yun Huang speechlessly. Okay, Tianyu, go catch some prey. Let's drink. Night Sorrow said and let Tianyu out. Eating barbecue, Night Sorrow repeatedly emphasized the problem of using the dragon spirit pill. He didn't want to cheat Yun Huang and Ling Long. After eating the barbecue and drinking some wine, Night Sorrow went into the tent and directly fell down to rest. He was very tired these days, but the effect was still very obvious. Look at the main chapter / after resting for a night. Night Sorrow practiced his spear skills for a while and then came to Wu Lingfei's tent. You're here. How is it? Did things go well in the Night Moon dynasty? Asked Wu Lingfei as she got up and made tea. It went very well. There were no problems. Night Sorrow nodded. Chapter 709. Genius 1. Second, remember love divided by little? I will provide you with interesting novels to read. It's nothing. I like the feeling of cultivation very much. Love, go little say, Web, Chu Night Sorrow said. Not everyone can be like you. Take Aunt Fei as an example. After reaching the place where I explored that day, I would have to consume a lot of energy to enter again. Aunt Fei's life law is ineffective against the destructive energy in the spatial turbulence. That is the energy of supreme beings. Even if cultivators of other attributes have comprehended the laws, they won't be able to suppress the spatial turbulence. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. She understood that only Night Sorrow could cultivate like this. The others could only watch helplessly. On the island occupied by the Qingtian region, Sacred Een, she was sitting cross-legged in a large tent. 2 men were standing in front of her. If Night Sorrow was here, he would recognize them. One of them was his old enemy, Ji Yu Hao. The other was Su Mu, who came from Medicine Valley, just like him. Don't be distracted by the emergence of Clear Sky City. Su Mu, you have to strengthen the cultivation of your mental state. Otherwise, you will be stuck at the peak void inquiry stage because your cultivation base is not high enough. Inchi looked at Su Mu and said, Disciple understands. Su Mu bowed and said, Ji Yu Hao, the time attribute is indeed strong. However, Night Sorrow has the innate bloodline of the Night Moon dynasty. His space attribute is not much weaker than your time attribute. You have to cultivate your combat ability more. His combat ability is very outstanding. Inchi looked at Ji Yu Hao and said, When Clear Sky City emerges this time, I will definitely kill him if I see him. Ji Yu Hao's eyes were filled with killing intent. No one hated Night Sorrow more than he did. He hasn't broken through to the Venerable Realm yet. You can't attack him. Otherwise, if the Tianji Tower wants to kill you, no one will be able to protect you. If he enters the Venerable Realm, it will be a different matter. The period when he has just broken through to the Venerable Realm is the best time. Inshi's eyes flashed with 2 rays of cold light. I can't get any news about him at the moment. However, since Clear Sky City has appeared, he will definitely try to break through to the Honorable Realm. As long as he appears in Clear Sky City, I will kill him. I won't give him any chance to jump around, Ji Yuhao said. The Silver Sunset Saint nodded. She and Xiaolan Jun were enemies. Night Sorrow was someone that Xiaolan Jun valued highly. He could be said to be one of the key figures in the next generation showdown. Therefore, she did not want to see Night Sorrow continue to grow and be killed by a cultivator of the same level. That could only mean that Night Sorrow was not strong enough. Xiaolan Jun could only bear with it. That bastard, I can't wait to kill him. Sumu also cursed angrily. He was originally a genius disciple of the Medicine Valley, but Night Sorrow's appearance had destroyed everything he deserved. Sumu, you have comprehended the extreme earth element, and you also have the wind element. You have both speed and strength talent, so you can't rush it. First, you have to improve your realm. Second, you have to improve your combat ability. This is very important. Inshi looked at Sumu and emphasized again. Inshi knew that in terms of combat ability, no one in the same level of cultivation was a match for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's 5th stage cultivation was able to escape from a 6th stage venerable. He could also kill a 1st stage venerable. This was something that other cultivators did not even dare to think about. Senior, Night Sorrow was able to kill a 3rd stage venerable because his realm was high. After he entered the Venerable Realm, did he not have any qualitative improvement? In other words, when he was at the peak of the 5th stage, his combat ability was not much different from when he entered the Venerable Realm. Ji Yuhao asked. It's hard to say. Once he enters the Venerable Realm, Night Moon Dynasty and Tianji Tower will definitely equip him with spirit tools. He can use spirit tools and has the space-time treasure pagoda, so he won't be easy to kill. However, once you have the chance, don't let it go. Now, unless something happens to him, the one who has the highest chance of killing him is you. Have you refined the time, Crystal? Inshi looked at Ji Yuhao and asked. Yes, I have. The time element has been strengthened by 20%. If it was the same situation as before, killing him wouldn't be a problem. Also, I don't know why, but his body can block my time sword chi. Ji Yuhao nodded and thought for a moment before asking. B hashtag A. V. 1 5. Original E. P hashtag %T is a pirated S. He can block your time sword chi? That's an ability that only those with high or supreme attributes can have. Could it be that he has some secret? Inshi stood up and paced back and forth, thinking. Yes, last time, my time sword chi managed to cut through his defensive energy shield a few times. However, once it entered his body, it lost its power. It could have cut him in half, but it only managed to cause some minor injuries. Ji Yuhao said, trying to explain the confusion in his heart. His body cultivation is quite good, and his essence chi smoke is about 40 to 50 feet high. However, this can only mean that his body is strong and his blood is vigorous. It can't be the reason why he can block the time sword chi. There should be something we don't know. Inshi Saint analyzed and said. Besides, if he can't restrain the time sword chi, the time sword chi in his body will constantly destroy his body's functions. However, not long after that, the massacre of the Tianfeng dynasty happened. This shows that the time sword chi has no effect on him. Ji Yuhao said again. This guy really can't be allowed to grow. As long as we see him, we must kill him if we have the chance. Inshi Saint felt that Night Sorrow was a hidden danger. She couldn't let Night Sorrow continue to grow. After that, Inshi Saint left the tent and went to find her subordinates to investigate Night Sorrow's situation. She didn't think much of it before, but after listening to Ji Yuhao's description, she felt that Night Sorrow was too big a threat. After arranging people to find out about Night Sorrow, Inshi Saint called West Nether Region's West Taitsong and Taiching Region's Qinyuan to her tent. Her main purpose was to discuss how to get rid of Night Sorrow. This guy is a scourge. The fact that he can survive in the Supreme River space means that he has strong survivability. In addition, he has killed many Venerables, which means that he has the strength to fight above his level. If we can't kill him, we must kill him even if we have to lose high-level Venerables, Chen Yuan said. That's fine. I will send a high-level Venerables to Qingtian region. You two will do the same. Send a Venerables each to wait in Taiching City. When he comes out, attack him as soon as you see him. Even if we have to sacrifice 3 high-level Venerables to kill him, we must kill him. Inshi Saint's eyes were full of killing intent. That's right. Not only is he a threat, he's also the link between the Eastern Xian region, Empyrean Terminus Tower, and Night Moon Dynasty. We definitely can't let him rise. Otherwise, he'll become a potential threat to us. Western Taitsong nodded in agreement with Silver Dusk Saint's opinion. After that, the 3 divided the work. Inshi Saint sent people to watch the teleportation formation in Taiching region. West Taitsong sent people to watch the Tianji Tower branch in Taiching region, and Chen Yuan sent people to hide outside the headquarters of Tianji Tower in Qingtian region. After the 3 of them reached an agreement, they all went to make arrangements. It was equivalent to arranging a sure-kill situation for Night Sorrow. Chapter 710. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. On Night Sorrow's side, he drank tea with Wu Lingfei. After chatting for a while, he went to the Eastern Xian region's camp. He brought 2 jars of wine and drank with Long Xianshang before returning to his tent. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao. Say www.aichuxs. Sion Night Sorrow practiced the basics for a night. When the sun rose, he held the space splitter spear and practiced his concept for a while. Then, he roasted the bird that Tianyu had caught. Tianyu still remembered that Night Sorrow liked to eat bird-type demon beasts, so when it could catch birds, it would definitely catch other demon beasts. Night Sorrow cooked up some bird barbecued meat. Yun Huang, an exquisite, would definitely not let it go, and the 3 of them ate it. Captain, don't train too hard. Take it slow, Ling Long said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. Now that he was in the middle of his cultivation, he naturally wouldn't give up. After chatting with the 2 of them for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the edge of the realm's sea with the spear on his back. His figure flickered, and he entered the chaotic streams of space within the realm sea to begin cultivating. Yin Huang sighed. He's talented and hardworking. If we slack off, we won't be able to fight together in the future. We're not bad either. We just need to work hard. Even if we can't beat the captain, we can still beat the others, Exquisite said. After that, the 2 of them went back to cultivate. Yun Huang's cultivation was at the peak of level 1 Martial Saint, but he needed to stabilize his cultivation. Ling Long needed to stabilize her cultivation before eating the Dragon Spirit pill. After Night Sorrow entered the realm sea, he was like a fish in water, shuttling back and forth in the chaotic streams of space. While shuttling back and forth, Night Sorrow was still practicing his spear arts with the space-splitting spear. Night Sorrow was cultivating his compatibility with the space-splitter spear. He was nourishing it with his own energy and aura. When his true body could use it, his doppelganger could use it as well. Night Sorrow was able to persist in the turbulent space for longer and longer, mainly because of the increase in speed, coupled with the fact that his true chi cultivation was becoming more and more solid. Other people needed crystals to cultivate and strengthen their attributes, but Night Sorrow didn't need them. His heavenly fate, Jewel, constantly released nothingness energy. Not only did it strengthen Night Sorrow's soul energy, but it also strengthened Night Sorrow's true energy. When he was tired from cultivating, Night Sorrow entered the space-time pagoda to recover. As he cultivated, Night Sorrow lost track of time. At the same time, he kept going deeper and deeper. The dead trees brought by Night Sorrow were destroyed, even though they were close to the surface of the sea. They had been destroyed for quite some time. Now, every time Night Sorrow recovered, the space-time pagoda would float in the realm sea. Even so, it consumed a lot of energy. After recovering once again, Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong and asked about the situation of the space-time pagoda. After talking with Shao Kong, Night Sorrow found out that the space-time pagoda could withstand the turbulent space. However, Shao Kong needed spirit stones. In the past, Night Sorrow had invested 7,000 to 8,000 mid-grade spirit stones. At this rate, they should be able to last for 1 month. Then, I'll continue to give you spirit stones. Is that okay? Can you refine and consume them in proportion? Night Sorrow asked. As long as there are spirit stones, the turbulent space outside cannot damage the space-time pagoda. However, the amount of spirit stones consumed is proportional to the intensity of the turbulent space. In other words, the deeper you go, the more spirit stones you need to consume, Shao Kong said to Night Sorrow. We don't lack spirit stones. The main thing is not to harm you and the space-time pagoda's main body, Night Sorrow said. As long as there is a supply of energy, it will be fine. If it doesn't work, I can just utilize the power of time. The turbulent space cannot do anything to me, Shao Kong said. That's good. Let me store the spirit stones for you. Night Sorrow took out 300 high-grade spirit stones and threw them into the Seacone Pagoda for Shao Kong to store. These will be enough for a long time. Shao Kong put away the spirit stones. After dealing with the space-time pagoda, Night Sorrow began to meditate and recover. If the space-time pagoda was fine, he was safe. Then, Night Sorrow began to cultivate day and night. His cultivation base became more and more condensed, especially his bloodline talent and soul power. His cultivation base improved rapidly. As he went deeper into the turbulent space became more violent. However, Night Sorrow felt that the greater the pressure, the better. Only then could he continue to cultivate. If he could cultivate his movement technique in the Realm C, it would be faster and more flexible when he used it outside. As the pressure increased, Night Sorrow switched to a spear and began using the reincarnation spear to fight. As he executed his movement technique to slash, he executed his spear art to continuously bombard the spatial turbulence attacking him. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. After consuming a lot of energy, Night Sorrow entered the space-time pagoda to recover. At this time, Wu Lingfei and Xiaolan Jun were standing where Wu Lingfei had taken Night Sorrow to see Clear Sky City. This little madman, when he comes out, we must teach him a lesson. Wu Lingfei's face was full of worry. Because Night Sorrow was already 100 miles deep into the turbulent space, Wu Lingfei and Xiaolan Jun could only see a shadow shuttling through the turbulent space. He's too strong. Even I can't go 100 miles deep. Xiaolan Jun sighed as she watched Night Sorrow, who was like an eagle striking the waves. He can't be thinking of approaching Clear Sky City, right? Wu Lingfei expressed her concern. She was afraid that Night Sorrow would do that. Xiaolan Jun looked carefully and shook her head. No, he's just engrossed in cultivation. He has no goal. Do we need to bring him back? Otherwise, it's too dangerous, Wu Lingfei said. Xiaolan Jun shook her head. That's not necessary. He's crazy, but he won't joke about his life. If he's fine for so long, there shouldn't be any problems. An eagle needs to spread its wings and soar into the sky. We can't tie his wings, Xiaolan Jun said. Night Sorrow kept shuttling through the turbulent space of the Realm C, brandishing his reincarnation spear to bombard the turbulent space that attacked him. When he couldn't hold on any longer, Night Sorrow entered the space-time pagoda to rest and recover. Xiaolan Jun and Wu Lingfei only returned to the edge of the Realm C after watching Night Sorrow disappear. Although I know he's fine, I'm still worried, Wu Lingfei said. Well, it's not a big deal. Xiaolan Jun shook her head and smiled at Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow stayed in the same area and cultivated for a few days. Then, he continued to go deeper. He was looking for pressure. Night Sorrow, he's consuming a lot now. He consumes at least 10 upper-grade spirit stones a day. The spirit stones you gave me can last for a month. Shao Kong said to Night Sorrow, It's consuming a lot. Let's go back and rest for a while. Night Sorrow decided. I thought you were going to rush all the way to Clear Sky City. Although it's not very far, the turbulent space surrounding Clear Sky City is too terrifying. We can't do it, Shao Kong said. Chapter 711. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow returned to the edge of the realm sea and was greeted by Wu Lingfei's roar. Night Sorrow shrunk back in fright. He had never seen Wu Lingfei so angry before. Do you still dare do this in the future? Wu Lingfei glared at Night Sorrow when she saw that Night Sorrow didn't say anything. I don't dare. Ani Fei, I'm safe. First of all, I can handle it. Also, I have the pagoda to protect me. If I can't handle it, I can enter the pagoda to recover. But if Ani Fei says no, then I won't go. Night Sorrow whispered, safety is the most important thing. As long as you grow, you'll be invincible in the same realm. Invincible venerables can do it. Plus, you have an Annihility origin. It won't be difficult for you to enter the Sage realm. So, some risks aren't worth it. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said earnestly, I know. Night Sorrow nodded. Although he didn't think it was dangerous, he didn't want to refute Wu Lingfei's words. He would only do as she said. Let Ani Fei think about this matter. Now let's go back and make tea. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said, Night Sorrow let Tianyu out to catch demon beasts while he and Wu Lingfei returned to their tent. Night Sorrow, Ani Fei doesn't want to nag you, but you really have to be careful. The spatial turbulence is no joke. What if the pagoda can't handle it? Wu Lingfei spoke of her worries. Over there, the pagoda needs me to provide spirit stones. As long as there are enough spirit stones, there won't be a problem. Although the consumption is a bit high, I can handle it. Night Sorrow explained the situation of the pagoda. As long as there are spirit stones, you can handle it. How many spirit stones do you need a day? Wu Lingfei asked while making tea. In the area, I go the deepest, 10 high-grade spirit stones a day. Night Sorrow said, 10. You are such a wastrel. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Wu Lingfei sighed and said, I can still withstand it. I've been to different spaces a few times, and I've accumulated a lot of high-grade spirit stones. I can withstand it after cultivating for a few years, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I can't communicate with someone like you who has a rich family. But since it's like this, you can go if you want. But there's one thing, you have to come back once every half a month. Knowing that the pagoda of time and space could hold, Wu Lingfei didn't insist that Night Sorrow couldn't enter the realm sea to cultivate. Ani Fei, you've agreed. Truth be told, my cultivation base has risen very quickly while cultivating inside. My soul power and bloodline talent have all improved by leaps and bounds. However, my body cultivation has reached a bottleneck, and I need to advance steadily. My true energy has also become much more condensed. Night Sorrow smiled as he explained his gains. Yes. Perhaps this path really suits you. Go barbecue. Let's drink some wine so you can relax. Wu Lingfei nodded to Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei had been excited because she was worried about Night Sorrow's safety. Now that she knew that Night Sorrow's safety wasn't a problem, she didn't insist. Night Sorrow roasted the antelope Tianyu had caught, took out a few jars of wine, and called Yun Huang and Ling Long over. BQ only T7 $1 positive W edition V. It. Kahio all is pirated R and Captain. I plan to eat a dragon spirit pill. What do you think? Ling Long asked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. If you feel that your primary energy is condensed and your foundation is solid, then go ahead and eat it. You know your own foundation, so you can control it in the future. After eating and drinking, Wu Lingfei wanted to see Night Sorrow's movement technique and Night Sorrow's progress. Baidu search, AI go female sign Shao, say www. AI XS. COM Night Sorrow nodded. He activated his bloodline talent and activated his protective shield. He cut back and forth in front of the tent at an incredible speed. That's enough. Even a mid-level supremacy is only as fast as you. Your protective barrier is very sharp. Any cultivator who is hit by you will be severely injured. Our efforts during this period were not in vain. Seeing Night Sorrow's speed, Wu Lingfei nodded with satisfaction. She didn't want Night Sorrow to be arrogant. In fact, Night Sorrow's speed had already surpassed an intermediate supreme. Yun Huang and Exquisite were very shocked because Night Sorrow's speed was simply too terrifying. They could not compare to him at all. Just by relying on speed, Night Sorrow could completely crush the two of them. Before Wu Lingfei left, she told Night Sorrow to rest for a few days. Yun Huang and Exquisite chatted with Night Sorrow. They also wanted to cultivate like Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and felt that Yun Huang and Exquisite could do it in the spatial turbulence in the outer region. This region was not attacked by the laws of the Realm Sea. Hearing Night Sorrow's agreement, Yun Huang and Exquisite were very happy and pulled Night Sorrow to drink. After drinking, Night Sorrow entered the tent to meditate and cultivate. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, several people were discussing something in the tent of Tianji Tower. There was True Sea Sage of the North Sea region, Southern Sage of the Southly region, and Flying Tiger Sage of the Unbounded Desolation region. I can confirm that Black Dragon Sage went to the island in the Sky Pillar region, Flying Tiger Sage said. There's West Blazing Sage Shi Taitsong, Grand Yuan Sage Chun Yuan, Great Desolation Black Dragon Sage, and Silver Dusk Sage there. They still have no advantage against us, True Sea Sage said. They'll still think of ways to strengthen their team. They're not calm, but there's nothing we can do about it. Besides, with Chun Yuan's influence, the 7-star Sage of the Sky Pillar region will probably go there as well. However, as soon as he shows any signs, I'll immediately kill him. Xiaolongyuan's eyes were filled with killing intent. Her temper was rising because Silver Dust Sage did not care about the unity of the 9 realms. True Sea Sage nodded and said, their small team shouldn't be left alive. If they go too far, we'll start a war. Everlasting Sage, you can stop Silver Dusk Sage. I'll kill Western Taitsong. Flying Tiger Sage also expressed his stance. Yes, Black Dragon Sage is on par with me. I can stop him. Nan Xiansheng said, I don't care about Qin Yuan. Xiaolongjun thought for a moment and said, if they don't go too far, we'll bear with it. Master Wu Kei, Chief Kei, and Director Guo are all improving their strength. They'll be a great help. Besides, Yi Linghuan of the Night Moon Empire is not too far away from being born. What we need to become stronger is time. True Sea Sage said, that's true. Let's see if they've made any moves after the birth of Clear Sky City. If they do, don't give them any face. Xiaolongjun looked at Tai Shu Yin and asked, Deputy K Master Tai Shu, do you have any hope now? No, I might be able to enter the Half-Step Saint realm, but it'll take a long time. Tai Shu Yin said, it's mainly because Long Xiansheng is difficult to talk to. If he's willing to help us, Silver Dusk Sage and the others will have to behave themselves. True Sea Sage said helplessly. Chapter 712. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, divided by little? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei looked at Xiaolongjun and the others and smiled helplessly. I was chatting with Senior Long Xiansheng about the Eastern Xian region and Night Sorrow. As for the situation of the 9 regions, Senior Long Xiansheng didn't mention it at all. Love divided by little, say www.aichux.com. This guy's bad temper is really worrying. I'll go see him tomorrow and see if I can persuade him. Xiaolongjun sighed. Long Xiansheng was a veteran saint, and there was a precedent of him killing veteran saints. In fact, in the hearts of all the saints, Long Xiansheng was the strongest, and the one who should not be provoked the most. If Long Xiansheng stood on the side of the extreme heaven tower, then the Silver Dusk Saint would have to behave. After chatting for a while, everyone dispersed. Wu Lingfei came to Night Sorrow's camp and watched Night Sorrow cultivate. She also meditated in Night Sorrow's tent. Love, go little say W. Chu since obtaining Dongshuan's origin, Wu Lingfei's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. It could be said that there were no obstacles or bottlenecks. This was the benefit of the origin power's recognition. Now she was worried about Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei treated Night Sorrow as her family and also regarded Night Sorrow as the future pillar of the Eastern Xian region. She didn't want to see anything happen to Night Sorrow. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow was stunned when he woke up. He didn't know when Wu Lingfei had come. It wasn't that Night Sorrow's vigilance was low, but that Wu Lingfei had used the power of law to control her aura and energy to not leak out. In addition, she didn't have any hostility. I just came to see you. Your cultivation state is good, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Don't worry, Aunt Fei. I will be obedient and rest well for a few days. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go out and take a look at the Eastern Xian region, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded his head. He also planned to take a look at the Eastern Xian region's camp. Listening to Long Xuanxing's words would allow him to gain a lot of experience. Soon after, the two of them arrived at the Eastern Xian region. At this time, there were more people in the Eastern Xian region. Qi Nan and a few of the Bloodstrike Guard commanders had also arrived. Night Sorrow arrived in front of Long Xuanxing's tent and took out a small tea table to make tea. At this time, Long Xuanxing also came out of the tent and sat down on a praying mat, waiting for Night Sorrow to make tea. Your condition is not bad, and your true qi is also very condensed. It seems that you are working very hard. Long Xuanxing said, Senior, you don't know this, but he's been cultivating in the Realm Sea recently. He's gone 100 miles into spatial turbulence, said Wu Lingfei. You rascal, there's a limit to everything. Don't force yourself, Long Xuanxing said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. Thank you for your reminder, Senior. Night Sorrow will know when to stop. By the way, what kind of scripture are you cultivating? The few forces in the Eastern Xian region don't seem to have any high-level scriptures. Long Xuanxing looked at Night Sorrow and asked, The Sacred Cauldron Scripture. It's the Sacred Cauldron Scripture of the Medicine Valley. It can be cultivated to the 7th Order Sage realm. Night Sorrow said, That's still not high enough. Let me do some research and get you a suitable scripture. Long Xuanxing said, Faster, Eon 5C. There are scriptures for cultivation above the 7th Order? Night Sorrow asked curiously. Of course there are. Demonic beasts and spirit beasts have their own inheritances. The level of their cultivation depends on the level of their cultivation. Also, only a very ancient clan would have such an inheritance. Ordinary forces and clans don't have it. Long Xuanxing said, Is this appropriate? Night Sorrow didn't want to take out a clone cultivation technique with Wu Lingfei to resist the punishment. There's nothing inappropriate about it. I've killed saints in the past, and I have their scriptures. I'll take a look at it later and see which one suits you. Long Xuanxing said. Just as they were talking, Xiaolanjun arrived. When she arrived in front of Long Xuanxing, Xiaolanjun cupped her hands. Wuji Saint is too polite. Sit down and drink some tea. Long Xuanxing nodded at Xiaolanjun. After greeting each other, Long Xuanxing continued to talk with Night Sorrow, sharing some of his insights. Senior Long Xuanxing, I have something to talk to you about. Xiaolanjun said, I know what you want to say. I also know that it's not easy for you. You've always wanted to maintain the balance of the 9 regions, but some people just don't live up to your expectations. What can you do about it? You can either kill them. Long Xuanxing looked at Xiaolanjun and said, If we kill them directly, the strength of the 9 regions will be damaged. It won't be easy to deal with the calamity in the future. Xiaolanjun said helplessly, You still expect those people to contribute to the 9 regions? Why can't you see through it? Long Xuanxing looked at Xiaolanjun and said, Senior is right. There's something wrong with my thinking. They have formed a circle now, and it's not easy to deal with them. Xiaolanjun said, I didn't want to get involved in this matter. But since you're here, I won't embarrass you. Inform me when there's a battle. I'll deal with those from the West Nether region. Long Xuanxing said, Thank you, Senior Long Xuanxing. It'll be much easier for us to deal with West Haizong. Xiaolanjun said, I'm not interested in that small fry. I can kill him with a slap. I'm talking about West Nether region's heavenly underworld saint. If he makes a move, All of you together won't be able to do anything. Long Xianxing said. Heavenly Underworld Saint? Xiaolan Jun was a little surprised. She had never heard of this name before. That guy hides very well. It's normal that you don't know him. He was defeated by Yi Tian and then went into hiding. He's very strong. Don't worry about this. I'll deal with those from the West Nether region. Take this communication crystal. If I'm not here, send me a message. Do you still want to drink tea? If you don't want to drink tea, you can go back. Just looking at you makes me feel conflicted. Long Xianxing glared at Xiaolan Jun. Drink tea. I'm here to drink tea. Xiaolan Jun quickly said. After drinking tea, Xiaolan Jun left. She had achieved her goal, but she didn't expect that another expert would be involved. The water is deep. Heavenly Underworld Saint and I are not from the same era as her. Of course, she doesn't know. Long Xianxing said as he watched Xiaolan Jun leave. If Senior is willing to step forward, she will feel more at ease. Wu Lingfei said. The tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. I didn't want to get involved in this matter. I just want the East Nether region to be peaceful. But now I have no choice. I can't just watch a woman take the lead and be a coward. I'm from the Black Tortoise race, but I won't shrink back. Long Xianxing said. It's Junior's fault. I'll drag Senior down. Wu Lingfei said apologetically. Chapter 713. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go Divided by Xiao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that Long Xuanqing's attitude towards the world had changed. Baidu search, AI Go, female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. Kid, is there something you don't understand? Long Xianxing asked when he saw Night Sorrow pondering with his head lowered. I understand the world of chaos, but what do you mean by the world of great strife? Night Sorrow asked. In the past, I pursued an action, protecting the Eastern Xian region's pure land, earning some merit, and obtaining luck. However, when the world is in chaos, it means that the opportunity has come. Who can rise and who can obtain the opportunity will depend on the individual's ability. This is the world of great competition. Long Xianxing explained to Yishang. Then, this junior understands. Yishang nodded. Fight hard. If there's an opportunity, take it. Our Eastern Xian region has several generations of people here. If the Eastern Xian region wants to rise, let's fight together. Kill whoever blocks the way, said Long Xianxing. All right, kill whoever blocks the way. Night Sorrow nodded. After staying for a while, Night Sorrow left the Eastern Xian region's camp and returned to his camp. Yin Huang and Ling Long weren't there. Night Sorrow knew that the two of them had gone to the edge of the realm's sea to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to continue cultivating in the realm sea and return to Sky City later. In any case, the Night Moon Dynasty was in a stable state. No one would be bold enough to attack the Night Moon Dynasty or Sky City. Night Sorrow got up and walked towards the realm sea. He didn't know that his decision had temporarily prevented a massacre. When he arrived at the edge of the realm sea, Night Sorrow saw Yun Huang and Ling Long cultivating in the realm sea, fighting against the spatial turbulence. The spatial turbulence was terrifying, but the two of them were at the periphery, so the pressure was not that great. If they were to cultivate like Night Sorrow, they might be instantly killed. After bidding farewell to Yun Huang and Ling Long, Night Sorrow cast a spatial energy shield and headed into the realm sea. Captain's speed and ability are too abnormal, Yun Huang exclaimed as he watched Night Sorrow enter the spatial turbulence. That's because he has a space-type protective energy shield. Plus, his combat power is very strong. We can't compare to him. Ling Long's mind was very calm. Ling Long was a celestial terminus emissary of Tianji Tower. Her attribute was fire, and it was the ultimate attribute of the fire attribute. Like Yun Huang, she was also the ultimate attribute of the common attribute. This was why they were able to become celestial terminus emissaries. Those who could become celestial extremity envoys all had outstanding talent. It was very difficult for those with ordinary attributes to stand out. Yin Huang, I'm going to eat some elixirs and cultivate later. Leave your mount behind to guard me. Ling Long shouted to Yun Huang while fighting in the spatial turbulence. Okay, but take it easy. You don't lack time. It's better to have a stable foundation. I'll wait for you, Yun Huang reminded Ling Long. He was genuinely worried. IG, look at the CW chapter of the OS version. Section 3 on T%L. Thank you. No need to wait. I'll catch up, Ling Long replied. Knight's sorrow went deeper into the realm sea. After 100 miles, he began to cut back and forth in the spatial turbulence. At the same time, he brandished the space splitter spear and fought against the spatial turbulence. Without pressure, Night Sorrow was unwilling to use the reincarnation spear. Improving the compatibility of the space splitter spear was something that had to be done. However, as Night Sorrow nourished himself day and night, the space splitter spear was now somewhat compatible with him. The power of the space splitter spear was also much stronger than before. When he was happy from fighting, Night Sorrow would roar a few times. Recently, he had been very carefree because some of his troubles had been resolved. Now, he could focus on cultivating in peace. In the eastern Xian region's Medicine Valley, Guan Yu was talking to Yu Yangyu in the Pill Cauldron Great Hall. Master, I really want to go out and explore. Don't men live to fight? 13th junior brother, 9th senior sister, and 6th senior sister are all fighting very well. I can't let go of my hands and feet just because I died once, said Guan Yi. Little Yi, it's not suitable for you to go to 13th's team. Your 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister are 13th's fiancés, so it's not inconvenient for him to command the team. However, you can't. You're the senior brother. Yu Yangyu voiced his worries. Master, actually, some things aren't that complicated. You're the sect master. Those martial uncles and elders also listen to your orders. I'm not going to be a senior brother in 13th's team. I'm just going to be an ordinary member. Guan Yi's attitude was very firm. He just wanted to fight in the outside world. He had recently entered the 5th Order, and with his high attributes, his combat strength was very strong. Master, why don't you let 12th junior brother go? You could just tell 13th junior brother. Ma Zhuang, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning are also doing very well in that team. The last time I came back, I saw that their cultivation had improved a lot. Moreover, they're very solid. They're real men now. Gong Xian said. All right then. I don't know where to find him. However, I'll go to Tianji Tower and ask. I should be able to find out. Then let's go. Yu Yangyu thought for a moment and felt that this was the path Guan Yi had chosen. There was no need to stop him. The rest was up to Night Sorrow. After informing Gong Xian, Yu Yangyu led Guan Yi to the teleportation array in Dandy Square. Now that Yu Yangyu had left the Medicine Valley, he was relieved. This was because the Medicine Valley didn't only have 2 venerables, but 3. The Great Elder had also successfully entered the Venerable Realm a few days ago. After arriving at Danding City, Yu Yangyu first went to the Tianji Tower branch to ask about Night Sorrow's situation. Enforcer Dong bowed to Yu Yangyu. Valley Master Liu, I don't know about this matter. The matter of the young master is confidential. However, you should go to the Tianji Tower branch in Dongshin City and ask. There should be some news. Young master, Enforcer Dong, are you saying that Night Sorrow is now the young master of Tianji Tower? Yu Yangyu asked in surprise. Yes. Valley Master Liu, don't you know? Some time ago, the headquarters sent an order that all the branches in the 9 zones and 18 states, even the branch masters, must listen to the young master's orders. However, it was only an order. I don't know the details, Enforcer Dong said. Well, I won't disturb you any longer. Yu Yangyu left the Tianji Tower branch with Guan Yi. This guy, I haven't seen him for a while, but he actually became the young master of Tianji Tower, the #1 force in the 9 zones. He didn't even tell the sect about this, Yu Yangyu muttered in a low voice. 13th junior brother isn't a showy person. He doesn't care about this. If he did, he would stay in the Medicine Valley and be the deputy valley master, Guan Yi said with a smile. That's true. Your 13th junior brother has a good state of mind. It's hard for external things to affect him, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Master, some time ago, eldest senior brother asked me to go to Bamboo Garden City to check on 13th junior brother's situation. The guy is really unreliable. He often talks about 13th junior brother. The Bamboo Garden City Lord also doesn't know what's going on. He respects 13th junior brother, so he put that guy in an important position. Now, that guy is the deputy manager of the City Lord Mansion, Guan Yi said. Chapter 714. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go/Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's true. 13th junior brother is hard to deal with, but 9th senior sister can. However, with 9th senior sister's temper, that guy is in for a bad time, Guan Yi said with a smile. Yes, your 9th senior sister is good at managing the household. She and your 6th senior sister are polar opposites. With them by your 13th junior brother's side, you'll have less to worry about. Now, let's go to Dongxian City's Tianji Tower and ask around. Yu Yangyu said. Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi arrived at Dongxian City's Tianji Tower branch. Yin Shui personally received them and told Yu Yangyu about the current situation. That means Night Sorrow might not be in Sky City right now. Yu Yangyu asked with a frown. %/only CX, positive version V, I and others, is stolen F version 3G. Even if the young master isn't here, Guardian Yang Lei and Guardian Sikong should be. It's the same if you go there, Yin Shui said with a smile. Then let's go there and take a look. Even if he couldn't see Night Sorrow, Yu Yangyu wanted to see if Aoi and Yang Lei were doing well. Yin Shui decided to personally send Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi over. After they arrived at Qingtian City's Celestial Peak Pavilion and asked around, Lan Yuxuan personally sent Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi to Sky City. Aoi and Yang Lei were very happy to see each other. Yang Lei personally prepared the food and wine, but Lan Yuxuan had left. Now that the higher-ups of Tianji Tower weren't around, she had a lot of things to do. While eating, Yu Yangyu told him why he brought Guan Yi along. Guan Yi also stood up and said that he was here to train himself. In the team, he was Guan Yi, not Night Sorrow's senior brother. However, the only person who can make decisions in the God-slaying squad is 13. We don't have the authority to do anything. Let's wait for 13 to return first, Yang Lei said. I understand. Guan Yi nodded. He understood the situation of the God-slaying team. After eating and drinking tea, Guan Yi talked about Chun Chen's matter. After hearing Guan Ye's words, Yang Lei's face turned cold. That bastard, he really went this far. I'll go back and deal with it later. The human heart is hard to fathom. However, we still have to inform Father Gu about this matter, said Sikong Chiyu. Then we'll go back tomorrow. Yang Lei wouldn't tolerate anyone using Night Sorrow's name to mess around. After sending Yu Yangyu back, Yang Lei followed him to Danding City. Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei met Papa Gu and told him about it. Love, go little say, 'cause he's really disappointing. He's going down a path we don't want to see. Yang Lei, you go and deal with it. No matter how you deal with it, it won't be too much. He only interacted with Night Sorrow because of me. Night Sorrow's name isn't something he can use, Papa Gu sighed and said. I won't do anything to him, but he can no longer hold any management position in the cities in the Medicine Valley area, Yang Lei said. All right, we're already being extremely benevolent by not pursuing the matter. Papa Gu nodded. After that, Papa Gu also expressed that he didn't want to see Chun Chen again and asked Yang Lei to deal with it as she saw fit. After that, Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei went to Zhiyuan City together. When they saw Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei, the governor of Zhiyuan City and a disciple of the North Pole Peak, Zhang Ling, led his people to bow to them. Yang Lei stood up and looked at Chun Chen, who was wearing a brocade robe, and said, Chun Chen, if you relied on your own ability to become a deacon or a manager, that's your own ability. But relying on the name Night Sorrow won't do. From today onward, you're not allowed to hold any management position in any city in the Medicine Valley area. Why? Am I not doing well enough now? Is this Night Sorrow's idea? Chun Chen's expression changed. Night Sorrow doesn't have time to care about these things, and he doesn't know about this. I don't know if you're doing well, but you didn't get to this position by relying on your own ability, but by relying on the reputation of others, Yang Lei said. I'm not convinced, Chun Chen said coldly. I don't care if you're convinced or not. Zhang Ling, in the Zhiyuan City area, no one is allowed to use Night Sorrow's name to do things. Take care of whoever you see. Yang Lei looked at Zhang Ling. This is my dereliction of duty. Zhang Ling bowed and said, Master, then this disciple will take her leave. Without even looking at Qinshan, Yang Lei bowed to Yu Yangyu. Go. I'll inform all the cities under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley of this matter. Yu Yangyu nodded. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, Chun Chen's expression turned even uglier because this meant that he would be completely banned. It's your own mentality that's flawed. Back then, Night Sorrow prepared resources for you and even prepared a rank 4 mount for you. But you chose this path yourself. From now on, we're strangers. After glancing at Chun Shun, Yang Lei left Zhuyuan City. On Yu Yangyu's side, accompanied by Zhang Ling, walked around Zhuyuan City. As for Chun Shun, no one paid any attention to him. Yang Lei wanted to talk to Papa Gu about the situation and then return to Sky City. Temperament determines success. No one could do anything about him like this, but don't tell 13 about this. It's meaningless, Aoi said. Then, Aoi and the other 2 girls took Guan Yi to the training field of the God-Slaying Squad. They introduced Guan Yi to Ho Jian and Shui Ling and explained the situation. 6 senior sister, you know that only the captain can make the decision to recruit people, but there's no problem with everyone cultivating together, Ho Jian said. Then, Guan Yi stayed behind to cultivate with everyone. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Realm Sea every day, but after going 100 miles deep, Night Sorrow stopped because this place was just right for him to train. Usually, Night Sorrow used the Void Splitter Spear and only used the Reincarnation Spear when the pressure was particularly high. In addition, Night Sorrow also found that the energy surrounding Haoyan City did not dissipate. Night Sorrow also noticed that the energy was not naturally wrapped, but seemed to be operated by a formation. The fact that the energy did not dissipate was a good thing for Night Sorrow, because he could continue to cultivate without losing the training of the space turbulence due to environmental damage. As for consumption, Night Sorrow did not mind. Recently, he had been sorting out the resources in the storage ring. Some mid-grade spirit stones and low-quality top-grade spirit stones were given to Shao Kong. Shao Kong also liked this situation. This was also a training process for her. On this day, while Night Sorrow was shuttling back and forth in the space turbulence of the Realm Sea, he found something unexpected. He found that there was a figure in the space storm about a dozen miles ahead. This made Yishang very shocked because he hadn't seen anyone enter, but now there were people inside. Night Sorrow shuttled back and forth in the space turbulence while observing the situation of the figure. As he observed, Night Sorrow found that the figure was spinning in the space storm and was not moving on its own. Night Sorrow, that's a corpse. There's no soul fluctuation. Shao Kong communicated with Night Sorrow. A corpse? It's not annihilated or torn apart in the space turbulence. What's going on? Night Sorrow was very shocked because he could not understand what was going on. Get close to it and get out, Shao Kong said. The 5th update has arrived. Who cares about a sister? Also, after I posted an announcement to stop updating, some brothers and sisters gave me some tips. Today, it's even more of a return. Chapter 715. Genius 1. Second, remember love, divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. No, that area is very dangerous. It's very difficult for us to get close. Love, go little say, True Night Sorrow observed for a while and said. Night Sorrow could travel through the spatial storm, but it also depended on the intensity of the spatial storm. If it was too strong, he could not get close. The spatial protective chi shield could be cut, but it couldn't do so in places with high density. Where the corpse was, the spatial storm was filled with black and red energy, which was destructive energy. The void protective chi shield could withstand it, but it would consume a lot of energy. Something that can survive in that spatial storm is definitely not simple. If we have the chance, we have to get it and study it, said Shao Kong. Night Sorrow also understood this, so he kept his eyes on the corpse as he traveled through the spatial turbulence. If he had the chance, he would get closer. The corpse also drifted toward the periphery of the spatial storm. Night Sorrow was also trying his best to get closer. As he got closer, Night Sorrow saw that the corpse was not a normal human. It was 3.5 feet tall and had 2 hideous curved horns. Yishang could see that it was an incomplete demon beast. He knew that it wasn't a human corpse. Night Sorrow kept getting closer. When he could not take it anymore, he entered the space-time pagoda to recover and let Shao Kahn pay attention. At this time, Night Sorrow did not care about the consumption and directly gave Shao Kahn 100 high-grade spirit stones. Love, go little say, chew after recovering. Night Sorrow continued to approach the corpse. With Night Sorrow's efforts and the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow and the corpse were getting closer and closer. What's going on? Night Sorrow found that there was a lot of hair on the surface of the corpse. When the energy cut the hair, it was shaken away. Shao Kahn could not answer Night Sorrow's question because she did not know either. This area was very dangerous. Night Sorrow was very cautious. He did not want to be swept into a place with violent spatial turbulence, even if he had Shao Kahn. The spatial turbulence around Night Sorrow had reached a terrifying level, and the entire realm sea was filled with roiling energy. Night Sorrow continued to use his body technique to slash, and the reincarnation spear also continued to attack, blasting away the spatial turbulence that was attacking him. The corpse floated outside, getting closer and closer to Night Sorrow. When there was still about 1 li left, Night Sorrow discovered that something was wrong. The spatial turbulence had changed direction, and the corpse was about to be sucked back. This situation made Night Sorrow anxious. If the corpse was sucked back, then all his efforts would have been for nothing, and all his efforts would have been for naught. With a low roar, Night Sorrow unleashed a spatial rend. His body followed behind the spatial rend as he rushed towards the corpse. After unleashing 2 spatial rends, Night Sorrow was still a few dozen feet away from the corpse. Night Sorrow exhaled and poured the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome into his left hand. Using the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome, he wrapped the sky-piercing spear with the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon and flew out. He wrapped the sky-piercing spear around the corpse's leg and pulled it back fiercely. Night Sorrow was afraid that the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon would be destroyed by the spatial turbulence, so he wrapped it with energy. As Night Sorrow's arm shook, the corpse was pulled to his side by Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow wanted to put the corpse into his storage ring, but after testing, he found that he could not do so. Night Sorrow's expression changed. He grabbed the corpse's horn with his left hand and cut through the spatial turbulence, rushing out. This place was extremely dangerous. One careless mistake, and he would be torn apart by the spatial turbulence. Night Sorrow tried several times while carrying the tall corpse, but he could not put it into his storage ring. Let me try. At this time, Shao Kahn, who was in Night Sorrow's sleeve, roared. Following that, the space-time pagoda's body suddenly enlarged. The bottom layer opened and a spatial vortex appeared, pulling the corpse into it. Night Sorrow cut back and forth, avoiding the spatial turbulence. He saw that Shao Kahn was struggling to pull the corpse, but after a few breaths of time, Shao Kahn still managed to pull the corpse into the space-time pagoda. At this time, Night Sorrow grabbed the Seacone pagoda and continued to rush out. After rushing out for a distance, he entered the space-time pagoda to rest. You can do it. Otherwise, it will be very troublesome to carry it out. When I want to recover, I don't even know what to do with it. Night Sorrow took out a wine jar and drank a mouthful. $1 forever equals free to read novels for a long time. Just now, I used 20 high-grade spirit stones. My body became bigger and was washed by the spatial turbulence. I can't take it anymore. Shao Kahn said. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to rush out. This was still a dangerous area. Night Sorrow didn't want to stay here any longer. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow rushed out of the spatial turbulence and arrived at a safe area. Looking back at the black and red spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. He finally rushed out. His body was covered in sweat. The main reason was that he was too nervous. If he wasn't careful, he could have died in there. Flying back to the border of the realm's sea, Night Sorrow looked at Yun Huang and Ling Long, who were still cultivating. Night Sorrow then returned to his tent. Just as he sat down and drank a mouthful of water, Wu Lingfei came over. "Why are you sweating?" Seeing the sweat on Night Sorrow's face, Wu Lingfei was shocked. Night Sorrow was a venerable. It was very strange for him to sweat. "Aunt Fei, I encountered something today." Night Sorrow waved his arm and brought the corpse into the tent. "What is this?" Wu Lingfei's face was full of shock. Then, Yishang explained the situation he had encountered from beginning to end in detail. "You're really bold. You dare to touch anything." After speaking, Wu Lingfei squatted down and began to study the tall corpse. As she observed, Wu Lingfei's face changed. "It's an ancient mutated beast, golden growler. It's above the saint level. Its fur is not corroded by any energy. Its spirit sea is empty, but there's still a very strong energy in its body. Its heart is still beating, but it's not obvious." Wu Lingfei said. "It was swept here by a spatial storm from Clear Sky City. In other words, it's related to the disappearance of Clear Sky City. It's from the same era?" Night Sorrow's face was full of shock. "It's possible. It doesn't have the aura of Nine Realms World. It shouldn't be a life form of Nine Realms World. It's dangerous. We can't give it a chance to recover." After speaking, Wu Lingfei waved her arm, and a white palm print entered the tall corpse. Night Sorrow also knew that this was an unstable factor, but he didn't expect this guy to be so strong. "Sit down. Let's talk slowly. Golden Growler is a time attribute beast. It has never appeared in our Nine Realms world, so the origin of this corpse is worth thinking about. And he also has a storage ring." Wu Lingfei reached out and took the storage ring from Golden Growler's left hand, then threw it to Night Sorrow. Then Night Sorrow opened the storage ring and took out all the resources inside. However, there were many things that Night Sorrow didn't recognize. Saint Crystal. This guy actually is Saint Crystal. It seems that things are really complicated. Wu Lingfei picked up a crystal and said, "Saint Crystal Core? It doesn't look like it." Night Sorrow said. Chapter 716. Genius 1. Second, remember love, divided by little. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. There is such a spirit stone. Why haven't I heard of it? Night Sorrow asked. Love, go little, say, Webka because our Nine Zones world doesn't have high-grade mines, Wu Lingfei said to Yishan. Unless the space and the world are very mature and old, they can't have such mines. This golden growler must have something to do with the ancient investiture of the gods. Take the Holy Spirit Stone. Yishang nodded and put away the 7 to 8 Saint Spirit Stones. Following this, Wu Lingfei continued to organize the resources that Yishan had taken out from his spatial ring. There were 100 top-grade spirit stones and a few elemental crystals. However, there weren't many. There were only a few lightning and wind elemental crystals. Why are you putting them there? Keep them, huh? There are also desolate stones like these. They will be very useful for you, Wu Lingfei said as she picked up a yellow speckled crystal. Aren't desolate stones only found in the desolate sea? How could he have them? Night Sorrow could not understand. The desolate sea is not only in the 9-domain world, but also in other worlds and spaces. This golden growler is a time attribute beast, so it is reasonable for it to have desolate stones. These 4 desolate stones are of high quality. Take them and use them. They can probably increase your power of desolates by a lot. How is your power of desolates now? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow told her about the fusion of his power of desolates and body refining energy. You took a little risk, but since you succeeded, there is nothing to say. This guy has a lot of refining materials. It seems that your luck is very good. Also, it is hard to estimate the situation in Haotian City. It should be a battlefield, Wu Lingfei said as she looked at the golden growler's body. I can't keep this guy in the storage ring. Night Sorrow nodded. He also realized that things were not simple. There are some things that I don't mind telling you. Saints aren't the focus of cultivators. When you cultivate to the extreme, you can achieve immortality. This guy's body is immortal, but his life force has been frozen by Ani Fei, Wu Lingfei said. What should we do with the corpse? Knight Sorrow asked. He was worried about this problem. It has to be destroyed. His divine sea is empty, which means that his soul is not here. If his soul is not destroyed, like the dark spirit saint, then his soul can find a body and be reborn. So we can't keep this corpse. Wu Lingfei said. That's not right. If his soul isn't destroyed, I can't open his storage ring. Love, go little say, Knight Sorrow said. That's not an absolute assumption. If his soul was severely injured, the soul imprint on the storage ring would naturally dissipate. If his soul recovered and he couldn't find his body, the storage ring wouldn't be imprinted again. You can still open it, said Wu Lingfei. I see. Ani Fei, you can deal with the corpse as you see fit. I have no objections. Knight Sorrow nodded. Let's do it this way. Ani Fei will take this corpse and show it to Senior Long Xianxing. If it's destroyed, Ani Fei will give you the materials on his body. Wu Lingfei said. Okay, Ani Fei, deal with it as you see fit. Knight Sorrow nodded. Soon after, Wu Lingfei left with the corpse. Yishan was making tea. He also needed to relax a bit. This time, he had been really nervous. They had entered the depths of spatial turbulence. If they weren't careful, they could have died. Knight Sorrow had the space-time pagoda to protect him, but could only be used in the cracks of the space turbulence. Once he was sucked in, he would be surrounded by the destructive energy. He couldn't enter the space-time pagoda even if he wanted to. It was normal for him to be destroyed. The space turbulence was the manifestation of the heavenly Tao. It was very difficult to resist. While Knight Sorrow was drinking tea, Yun Huang and Ling Long returned. Captain, your cultivation base is very condensed. Are you going to break through? Yun Huang looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. He could see the depth of Knight Sorrow's cultivation base. It's condensed enough, but it's not controllable enough. I still need to cultivate. You have to pay attention to this. Condensing one's true qi is one of the aspects of a solid foundation. You can't ignore the degree of control. You have to know that it involves the speed of true qi circulation, explosive power, and so on. Knight Sorrow looked at Yin Huang and said, I know, but no matter how solid it is, it's much faster than natural cultivation. Yin Huang smiled. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to continue cultivating in the realm C. Ling Long said, Safety. Safety first. Knight Sorrow looked at Ling Long and said, he had the space-time pagoda to protect him, but Yun Huang and Ling Long didn't. Captain, don't worry. We won't do anything rash. Yin Huang nodded. After the three of them drank some tea, Yin Huang and Ling Long left. They had their own tents. Knight Sorrow also sat down to cultivate, but it was just a normal cultivation. He had originally planned to absorb the power of desolates to cultivate. But now that his Myriad Dao treasure tome was at level 9 Dao querying realm, if he cultivated too quickly, it would have the disadvantage of an unstable foundation. While Knight Sorrow was cultivating, Long Xiansheng and Wu Lingfei were studying the corpse. It's an ancient beast, the golden growler, and its cultivation base is very high. Because of the special characteristics of its body, it wasn't destroyed by the turbulence of space. If this fella's soul isn't destroyed, it's possible for its soul to return to its body. So, we can't give it a chance to live. Let me destroy it. Long Xianxing nodded to Wu Lingfei. After that, Long Xianxing opened and closed his hands, and a yellow space with a diameter of 10 feet appeared. Then, the corpse of the golden growler was sucked into the space. After that, the space began to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was torn apart. After that, the space continued to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was completely crushed. Then, flames appeared in the space and burned the corpse. Wu Lingfei was shocked, because Long Xuanqing's first move was a fusion of several attributes. The chaotic space was a fusion of the earth, space, and wind attributes, and also the fire attribute. There are still 2 horns that haven't been destroyed. But it doesn't matter. Long Xianxing waved his hand, took out the 2 horns, and handed them to Wu Lingfei. At the same time, he kept his chaotic space. What they didn't know was that at this time, in a special space, a man in a golden robe was shouting, Who? Who destroyed this king's body? If this king finds out, he will definitely turn you into ashes. After shouting for a while, the man in the golden robe calmed down. Genie, what's going on? A black-clothed man appeared in front of the golden-robed man. Bo Ching, this king's body has been destroyed. There is no connection with him now. The golden-robed man, Jinyu, said, WC is the only genuine copy of Asterisk. It's R, and he was O. Robbery. Edition 1 inch. Could it be that there's another expert in the 9-domain world? Otherwise, Brother Jinyu's body wouldn't have been destroyed so easily, said the man called Bo Ching by Jinyu. That's hard to say. This king will definitely not let this matter rest. Since he can't return to his physical body, he'll have to think of some other way to reconstruct his physical body. Jinyu replied coldly, Yes, this must be done. After we recover, we have to go back. We've really had enough of this damn place. Bo Ching said irritably, But we didn't complete the mission. If we go back, we'll be in big trouble. A hint of fear appeared on Jinyu's face. Chapter 717. Genius 1, Second Remember Love, Go Divided by Shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Jinyu did not speak anymore and continued to meditate. Bo Ching also got up and left the area. Baidu search, Love Go Divided by Shao, Shuop, www.ai2x. Come in the 9 domains world. After long Xiansheng threw the horn to Wu Lingfei, he sighed and shook his head. You guessed it right. The soul of the owner of this body is not destroyed. Just now, this seat felt that the destroyed body had a connection with the outside world. At the same time, I also felt that there was karma attached to me. This seat is hated by someone. Is that so? Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. Yes, this world is really chaotic. We only saw the body of a golden growler. What about the rest? This is just a little bit of the surface of the water. There will be great horror in the future. Long Xianxing said. Baidu search, Love Go Divided by Shao, Shuop, www.ai2x. Come, what should we do? Wu Lingfei also had a headache because the situation was very difficult to control. Domain Lord, you have to speed up the refining of Dongshuan's origin. Then, even if the world is in chaos, Dongshan region may still be a pure land. Long Xiansheng said to Wu Lingfei. Yes, I will work hard. Wu Lingfei nodded. At this moment, Xiaolan Jun and Nanxian Sheng came over with a young man. Seeing this young man, Long Xianxing narrowed his eyes, and Wu Lingfei also had a strange feeling. He is? Wu Lingfei asked. He's a cultivator from the South Parting region. I'm sure you've already sensed it. You're right. He has the South Parting source in his body. I hope you two can keep this a secret. Nan Ganxing nodded to Long Xiansheng and Wu Lingfei. 300 years ago, didn't Nanli region's origin recognize him as its master? How old is he? Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. This junior is Liang Yu. 300 years ago, it was my ancestor. Although my ancestor obtained Nanli's origin, he could not refine it. Then, he passed it to this junior. The burly young man said, So that's the case. Then, can you refine it? Long Xianxing asked. He's a little strange. When he was born, the South Parting Sect's source energy had already separated from his ancestor and entered his body. After nurturing it for over 20 years, he has already refined it. Even though he's only at the peak void inquiry stage, he has the strength of an early venerable realm expert. I brought him here because I feel that the South Parting Sect isn't safe either. Thus, I plan to send him to the God-slaying squad. Nan Qiansheng said. Nangan Sheng. I can't make the decision on this matter. Besides, the God-slaying team is a team for the Eastern Xian region. How can we let the future ruler of the Southern Li region in? Wu Lingfei asked. VZ Yong, D long exempt, N phi square root, C, B small, O say. Our two regions are considered to be in an alliance. I will be at ease if we throw him into the God-slaying team, Nin Gansheng said. Senior Long Xianxing, what do you think? Wu Lingfei looked at Long Xianxing and asked. I don't have any opinion on this matter. However, it still depends on Knight Soro's opinion. Long Xiansheng said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that the main problem was still Night Sorrow. If Night Sorrow was unwilling, no one could do anything about it. Then let's go to Night Sorrow's place and have a look. It's not easy to talk to Night Sorrow when it comes to principles. Xiaolanjun said. Xiaolanjun, Nan Gansheng, and Wu Lingfei brought Liang Yu to Night Sorrow's tent. When they arrived, Night Sorrow also came out of his tent. After greeting them, he took out a tea table and began to make tea. Night Sorrow, let me introduce you. This is Liang Yu from the South Parting sect. In the future, you two will be brothers who will fight side by side. Xiaolanjun said. I am Liang Yu. Liang Yu extended his fist towards Night Sorrow. I am Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow also extended his fist and bumped it with Liang Yu's. All right, Night Sorrow, the South Parting sect, and our Easter Shin sect are allies. Therefore, Liang Yu wants to join your god-slaying sect. Wu Lingfei directly pointed out the root of the problem. I can't answer this question directly. First of all, we have 30 to 40 brothers. I have to be responsible for them. Therefore, I'm sorry. Night Sorrow looked at Liang Yu. Liang Yu had a strong body and a gentle face. At this moment, he was also looking at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. He was a proud person. Now that Night Sorrow didn't accept him, he was a little angry. Night Sorrow, there is no problem with Liang Yu's character. He is also strong enough to fight against venerables. Besides, now that we're working together, we have to be open to each other. Liang Yu, Night Sorrow is responsible for the members of the God-slaying sect. You should know that the God-slaying sect has fought many times and killed many major forces without losing a single member. You know what this means, Xiaolanjun said. Night Sorrow, make the arrangements. Liang Yu is very important to the South Parting sect. Wu Lingfei said. Then cultivate with me, Yun Huang, and Ling Long. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Xiaolanjun and the others left. Sit, have some tea. Night Sorrow nodded to Liang Yu. I have heard about your god-slaying sect. I am very envious. Liang Yu sat down and said, Don't take my rejection to heart. Those brothers have fought with their lives on the line. They are friends who can block knives for each other. If I agreed directly, it would be irresponsible to them. Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A leader like that can't lead a team like the god-slaying sect. Liang Yu nodded. Leader, we are back. Yin Huang shouted as he and Ling Long came to Night Sorrow's tent. Tianyu, go catch some prey. Night Sorrow shouted to Tianyu, who was lying on the side of the tent. Who is this? Yin Huang looked at Liang Yu and asked. He is Liang Yu. He will be cultivating with us from today. Night Sorrow introduced him. Okay, when you become a venerable, let's spar. Yin Huang poured himself a cup of water and said, We can spar even if we are not venerables. Night Sorrow can fight against venerables. Maybe I can too. Liang Yu said, Sure, let's give it a try then. Yin Huang stood up and walked towards the outside of the tent. Liang Yu also followed him. Then, he drew out the fiery red sword on his back. It was a long sword that was as wide as a palm and 6 chi asterisk 3, 33 m per chi long. Then let me test your strength. Yin Huang brandished his curved blade and slashed at Liang Yu. Liang Yu swung his sword and sent out a very thick sword light. The sword light and the blade light clashed and canceled each other out. No, even if you have the ultimate attribute of the fire attribute, you can't withstand my black baleful lightning. Even though Yin Huang displayed his peak void inquiry stage cultivation base, his lightning attribute was the ultimate attribute of the lightning attribute, the black baleful lightning. His attack was ferocious, and it was not something that the fire attribute could withstand. Everyone has some ultimate moves. Let's spar to our heart's content. Liang Yu waved his heavy sword and said, Interesting. Then let's have a good spar. Yin Huang became serious. A purple-black lightning chi barrier appeared around his body. Liang Yu raised his right hand. As he raised his sword, a strong flame chi barrier appeared around his body. Chapter 718. Genius remembers love in 1 second / small. We provide you with interesting novels to read. N. His fire attribute is indeed strong. Ordinary fire attribute cultivators won't be able to reach this level. Knight Sorrow nodded. He did have such a discerning eye. After that, Liang Yu and Yun Huang began to fight each other. Both of them were fiery types. It was a head-on battle. Yun Huang was very straightforward. He had been fighting Liang Yu with his peak void inquiry stage cultivation base. Because of Liang Yu's domineering attribute, Yun Huang could not gain the upper hand at all. However, Yun Huang's speed was fast. Even Liang Yu, who had a wide range of attacks, could not gain the upper hand. After fighting for about 10 minutes, Knight Sorrow called them to stop. Yun Huang was unwilling to use his venerable realm cultivation base. The two of them were equally matched. Let me try. Ling Long was also itching to fight. She walked towards Liang Yu with her curved blade. With the support of the protective chi barrier, Ling Long's expression changed because she felt that she was being suppressed. What's wrong with you? Cultivators of the fire attribute have no possibility of fighting me if their cultivation base is not higher than 3 levels above mine. Liang Yu said, You possess the origin of fire attribute? Ling Long's expression changed. Liang Yu nodded. If I use my venerable realm cultivation base, even if I win the battle, it will be an unfair victory. If I don't use my venerable realm cultivation base, I won't be able to defeat you. What's the point of the battle then? Ling Long said with slight annoyance. Are you from the Southly region? Liang Yu looked at Ling Long and asked. Yes. So what? Ling Long was very unhappy because her attribute was being suppressed. Moreover, it was being suppressed by an attribute of the same origin. Nothing. Just pretend that I didn't ask. Seeing Ling Long getting angry, Liang Yu smiled and did not say anything else. All right, let's roast some meat and drink some wine. Knight Sorrow looked at the golden bull that Tian Yu had caught and said. After drinking, Knight Sorrow asked Liang Yu to set up a tent. At the same time, he told them about their current cultivation method. I haven't tried it before. I'll try it with you guys later. After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, Liang Yu's interest was piqued. Then you'll follow the two of them. Yin Huang, Ling Long, regardless of whether Liang Yu joins our god-slaying squad or not, he's now our comrade. Take good care of him. Yishan said to Yun Huang and Ling Long. After giving his instructions, Knight Sorrow entered the tent and began to cultivate. While cultivating, Knight Sorrow's mind was full of questions. He did not understand why he came across the Golden Growler's body, but his harvest was huge. 1 Holy Spirit Stone was equivalent to 100 Supreme Grade Spirit Stones. What he got was a huge fortune. There were also many other materials. After daybreak, Knight Sorrow began to cultivate his spear art. Now, he didn't need to enter the domain C to cultivate. His true chi was condensed enough, and the Myriad Tao Tome's energy was also incomparably solid. He wanted to cultivate his true chi's control. Once he could control his true chi, he would be able to study the problem of advancement. It was only necessary to cultivate in the realm C after breaking through. In the following days, Knight Sorrow cultivated his spear art and his true chi's control. Wu Lingfei came by a few times and was very satisfied with Knight Sorrow's progress. Xiaolan Jun and Nan Gansheng also came over, mainly because they were worried that Yun Huang and Exquisite wouldn't get along with Liang Yu. That said, they were very satisfied. As for Knight Sorrow, they weren't worried. Yun Huang and Exquisite were people who didn't care about trifles. Liang Yu was also very generous. Knight Sorrow had long since noticed this. It could be seen from Liang Yu's fighting style. Liang Yu's fighting style was to press forward courageously, and his personality determined his fighting style. Because of their congenial personalities, they got along quite well. What's up with Knight Sorrow? He's been practicing his spear arts for an entire day? Liang Yu, who was chatting with Yun Huang, and Exquisite, asked Knight Sorrow, who was practicing his spear arts in front of the tent. It's normal. He's been cultivating in seclusion for an entire month. Before you came, he was also cultivating in the Realm C for an entire month, Yun Huang said with a smile. That's crazy. I'll spar with him when I have time, Liang Yu said. Then you should just forget about it. During that time, the 4 of us fought him alone. He used a rattan to whip us until we were covered in bloody scars, Exquisite said. As for Night Sorrow, he cultivated his spear arts during the day and cultivated his soul power and bloodline talent at night. Half a month later, Night Sorrow felt that his true cheese control had reached saturation. He was ready to break through to second-level Venerable. Letting Tianyu guard him, Night Sorrow went to break through his true cheese control. With his cultivation base enough, his advancement naturally went smoothly. After one night, Night Sorrow's cultivation base reached second-level Venerable. After that, Night Sorrow continued cultivating his spear art during the day and stabilizing his true chi at night. At the same time, he cultivated his soul power and bloodline talent. 3 days later, Night Sorrow felt that his cultivation base had stabilized. With 2 spears on his back, he walked towards the Realm Sea. He planned to enter the Realm Sea to stabilize his newly advanced cultivation base. After that, he could continue eating dragon spirit pills to increase his cultivation base. Let's go. This time, you'll be able to witness our captain's strength. Seeing Night Sorrow walk towards the Realm Sea, Yin Huang waved to Exquisite and called out to Liang Yu. Ignoring the 3, Night Sorrow reached the edge of the Realm Sea. Raising a protective barrier, he cut straight into the Realm Sea. What kind of speed is this? Liang Yu was shocked to see Night Sorrow leaving a trail of afterimages behind him. That's our captain. At the 5th level, he can easily kill a beginner Venerable. He can even injure a mid-level Venerable, Yin Huang said proudly. He really is powerful. That speed is too frightening. Liang Yu nodded. Night Sorrow's speed had already reached an extreme. Night Sorrow continued to charge into the Realm Sea. He only started cultivating after crossing 100 li of the area where Wu Lingfei had taken him to watch. By this time, Yin Huang and the others could no longer see Night Sorrow's figure. He's cultivating in the center of the spatial storm. Can he endure it? Liang Yu was shocked. He was very confident in himself, but Night Sorrow's display of strength made him feel both shocked and pressured. Of course he can. Don't be surprised. Just get used to it. Let's cultivate too. Exquisite shook her head. She was already used to Night Sorrow's freakish strength. Night Sorrow was currently in an area he was used to in the past, and the space-time pagoda didn't consume too much energy. Night Sorrow shuttled through the turbulent flow of space, cultivating his movement technique and spear technique. Whenever he consumed too much energy, he would return to the space-time pagoda to recover. Night Sorrow could sense the improvement of his innate bloodline power and soul power every day. In addition to the fact that his true chi was becoming more and more stable after being tempered, he was very excited to cultivate. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. It's been half a month, and this guy still hasn't come out. Impressive. After cultivating for half a month, Liang Yu was completely convinced of Night Sorrow's strength. You're quite strong as well. You're at the 9th level of the Void Inquiry stage. You're in the same area as the 2 of us. That's very good. Exquisite said. It's still not enough. In the past, I thought I was very capable. But now, I feel that I'm much weaker. I still need to work harder. Liang Yu said. Chapter 719. Genius 1 Second Remember Love, Go/Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Captain, you're not going to raise your cultivation again, are you? Yin Huang asked Yishan. Of course. My foundation is solid and my true chi is condensed. I can control it well, Night Sorrow said. Yin Huang shook his head. Exquisite felt helpless as well. They had worked very hard, but Night Sorrow had been too fast. There was nothing they could do about it. First of all, the depth of the Realm Sea was different, so there was a difference in tempering. They caught a demon beast and roasted it. The 4 of them drank some wine together. Then, Night Sorrow went to visit Long, Xiansheng, and Wu Lingfei. It would take a long time for him to eat the dragon spirit pill, so he needed to know what was going on outside. Night Sorrow didn't see Long Xiansheng. Instead, he saw Wu Lingfei and Xielanjun. The 2 told Night Sorrow that everything was normal outside, but the people of Medicine Valley had gone to Sky City. The Empyrean Terminus Tower was the most well-informed. Naturally, the Empyrean Terminus Tower knew that Lu Yongyu and Guan Yi had gone to the city in the sky. Hearing this, Night Sorrow decided to go back. Wu Lingfei wanted to accompany Night Sorrow, but Night Sorrow refused. He just wanted to go back and take a look, not to fight. That's fine. If there's anything, go to Tianji Tower's headquarters. The Chief Tower Master and the Chief Supervisor are there, Wu Lingfei said. After that, Yishan went to the valley where Night Moon Dynasty's troops were resting and chatted with Yiling Xia. When there was nothing else, Night Sorrow went back to the camp. He told Yin Huang and the others that he was going to leave. Let's go back together. We also need a rest. Anyway, you have a flying ship. It won't be troublesome to use the teleportation array. Also, let's bring this guy back and introduce him to everyone. Ling Long pointed at Liang Yu. That works too. Let's go back together and rest for a few days. After thinking about Night Sorrow, he agreed. After putting away Tianyu, Night Sorrow released the airship. After letting the three enter the airship, Night Sorrow controlled the airship and rushed towards Haohai City. At the same time, Night Sorrow explained the rules of the God-slaying squad to Liang Yu. Liang Yu pondered for a moment before saying, "If they are good people, then I won't betray my brother. I could take a blow for my brother." Night Sorrow nodded. That was not a problem. As long as they followed the rules of the God-slaying team, everything would be fine. When they arrived at the border of Vast Ocean City's Realm Sea, Night Sorrow put away the airship, and the group rode their mounts towards Vast Ocean City's teleportation array. Liang Yu's mount was the Flame Feather Eagle, which was also at the peak of Tier 4. Its speed was also extremely fast. When they arrived at the Haohai City's teleportation array, they teleported to the Taiching domain. As soon as they stepped out of the Taiching domain's teleportation array, Night Sorrow felt a killing intent lock onto him. "Hurry up and leave," Night Sorrow shouted. He activated his protective barrier and blasted his strongest spear forward. #Dollar look at the S version T chapter S section in above OT bang. After a muffled sound, Night Sorrow's body was sent flying. Only then did Yin Huang and the other two leave their original spot. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow did not dodge. If he did, that terrifying sword chi would have struck them. "Hurry up and leave." Night Sorrow roared again. He activated his protective barrier and cut to the side to avoid the opponent's attack. Assassination. This guy's cultivation base is at the high-level Venerable realm. We're no match for him. Don't distract the captain. Hurry up and leave. Yin Huang's body drew an arc as he rushed towards the Tianji Tower. He knew that it was useless for him to stay. The best way was to call for reinforcements. Ling Long also followed Yin Huang and rushed towards the Tianji Tower. She could not help Night Sorrow if she stayed. Besides, she was worried that Yin Huang would be intercepted. If that happened, there would be no one to report to. "You bastard! You're too despicable. Night Sorrow, run around the Sea of Fire." After Liang Yu shouted, he stood at the edge of the teleportation array. Then, he waved his arm and a sea of fire appeared in the open space in front of the teleportation array. At this moment, Night Sorrow also saw the attacker clearly. It was an inconspicuous old man in a gray robe. However, the long sword in his hand was very sharp. Sword chi slashed towards Night Sorrow. At the same time, he crossed the Sea of Fire and chased after Night Sorrow. "How dare you jump into the Sea of Fire? Watch me burn your balls." Liang Yu roared. His arm shook, and the flames in the Sea of Fire soared into the sky. Not only did they block the old man, but the flames also attacked the old man's body. Night Sorrow activated his protective barrier and cut back, avoiding the old man's sword chi attack. He knew that there was no chance of winning. The strength of a high-level Venerable was completely different from that of a mid-level Venerable. "Liang Yu, go!" Night Sorrow shouted. He was worried that the old man would attack Liang Yu. "Huh, I'm on the teleportation array. How dare he attack it? I don't think he has the courage." Liang Yu laughed and shouted. At the same time, he controlled the flames to burn the old man's body. Regardless of how the flames attacked, he wanted to interrupt the old man's attack rhythm and affect his vision. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and began to run around the teleportation array's hall. Attacking the teleportation array was an act of war. If the old man attacked the teleportation array, the guards of the Taiching domain would attack. There were venerable realm guards here. The gray-robed old man did not attack the teleportation array because he would be attacked by a group of people. Night Sorrow was fast and agile. The gray-robed old man could not catch up to him. However, Night Sorrow knew that this was a crisis. Once he was caught, it would be a big problem. Night Sorrow was seriously injured after taking the old man's attack head-on. His Zhun Qi was shaken, the tendons and veins in his arms were damaged, and his internal organs were displaced. Fortunately, his body was strong. Otherwise, he would have been killed in one move. While Night Sorrow was fighting, Yun Huang rushed toward the Tianji Tower. The teleportation array was not too far away from the Tianji Tower branch. Yun Huang shouted for help when he was not far away. When Yun Huang shouted for help, a sword chi flew toward Yun Huang. Yun Huang hurriedly waved his scimitar and slashed at the sword chi. Bang! After a muffled sound, Yun Huang vomited blood and was sent flying. At this time, Ling Long rushed over and pulled Yun Huang's body into the Tianji Tower's gate. We are the Tianji emissaries. We are being surrounded. Help! What's going on? At this time, two figures arrived in the Tianji Tower's lobby. There is a high-level venerable at the gate. He is asking for help. There is also a high-level venerable at the teleportation array trying to kill Night Sorrow. Help Night Sorrow quickly. Ling Long's face was full of anxiety. She knew what a high-level venerable was. They could easily kill a low-level venerable. Supervisor Lon, deal with the one at the gate. I will go to the teleportation array. A golden figure rushed out. He was the Tianji Tower's Gold Palace attendant, Yao Yang. He was currently guarding the Tianji Tower branch in the Taiching domain. Lan Yuxuan, who had dared to do something, rushed out of the Tianji Tower's gate and caught up with a thin old man. He was the venerable who had attacked Yun Huang. 7th level venerable, you came to assassinate our Tianji Tower's Tianji emissaries. Today I want you dead, and the people behind you dead. Lan Yuxuan waved her long sword and fought with the venerable. Night Sorrow's crisis was getting more and more intense. The gray-robed old man was too strong. He had no chance to rest, and his injuries were getting worse. Chapter 720. Genius 1. Second, remember, love, divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Because the gray-robed old man's attack frequency was fast and fierce, Night Sorrow didn't have any time to rest. Therefore, his internal organs were impacted and he didn't have time to recover. His meridians were also on the verge of cracking due to the violent circulation of his true chi. Love, go little, say, although Night Sorrow knew that this couldn't go on. He had no other choice unless he entered the space-time treasure pagoda. However, he had been sealed all this time. Entering the space-time treasure pagoda was asking for trouble. If he used Space Rend, the opponent's speed would be very fast. The possibility of the attack hitting was very small. Just as Night Sorrow was about to use Soul Destruction Slash to alleviate the crisis, an opportunity appeared. Yao Yang appeared behind Night Sorrow and slashed out a few times, blocking the gray-robed old man's sword chi. A high-level venerable wants to kill my Tianji Tower's young master. You're tired of living. Yao Yang growled and attacked the gray-robed old man, resolving Night Sorrow's crisis. Liang Yu ran over and pulled Night Sorrow to the safety of the teleportation array. At this time, the Taiching domain's guards were guarding the teleportation array with swords in hand. Love, go little, say, Chu, are you okay? Liang Yu looked at Night Sorrow and asked, I'm okay. You were attacked by a high-level venerable, and you didn't even give me a chance to breathe? Night Sorrow glanced at Liang Yu and took out a drop of life spirit liquid to heal the injuries in his body. At the same time, the Myriad Tao Tome and the medicine spirit's power circulated at the same time to recuperate his body. If it was me, I would have collapsed. This guy is too despicable. A high-level venerable attacked, and he even assassinated him. He has no limits. Liang Yu curled his lips and said. At this time, the battle between Yao Yang and the gray-robed old man was very intense. However, Yao Yang was suppressing the other party's attacks. The long sword in Yao Yang's hand was constantly vibrating, and the sword chi he emitted carried ripples. If he really wanted to kill me, he wouldn't have given me a chance to catch my breath. If he hadn't taken the opportunity to attack me near the teleportation hall, I would have died right now, Knight Sorrow said as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Venerable to assassinate you. Liang Yu nodded. At this time, Yishan was no longer in danger because the experts of the Celestial Extreme Tower had arrived. Lin's heart's his heart. Lin Yuandao attacked right away. Lin Yuandao swung his arms twice, and 2 ripples cut off the gray-robed elder's arms. Yao Yang rushed up and punched again, shattering the gray-robed old man's dantian. Then he grabbed the gray-robed old man's neck and pulled him in front of Knight Sorrow and Lin Yuandao. As a high-level venerable, can you be more shameless? Liang Yu took 2 steps forward and stabbed his broadsword between the gray-robed old man's legs. The broadsword that was infused with fire energy was no different from a soldering iron. Love go little say, W. Chu following the old man's scream. The old man's crotch emitted a squeaking sound and green smoke. It's not a man's thing. You can't use a man's thing. Liang Yu's words made everyone speechless. Don't kill him. We still have to interrogate him. See which force sent him. This must be investigated. Lin Yuandao could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. Just as Lin Yuandao was speaking, the old man struggled violently and tore his robe, breaking free from Yao Yang's control. Then, he slammed his head against Liang Yu's broadsword and died. Why are you so manly at a time like this? Liang Yu was stunned. He had not expected the gray-robed old man to commit suicide like this. He can't die. Yao Yang, take his corpse and see if there are any clues. Knight Sorrow, let's go. After Lin Yuandao finished speaking, he wrapped Knight Sorrow in energy and rushed toward the Tianji Tower's division. There was still an assassin there, so he was anxious to leave him alive. However, what everyone expected happened. The high-level venerable who had been crippled by Guo Xiao also committed suicide. These are all death warriors. Elder Hua, Supervisor Guo, quickly go to the Qingtian region's teleportation array and the Celestial Peak Pavilion to take a look. The news hasn't spread, so if there are venerables lying in ambush, we can still catch them. Even if there are no survivors, there will still be clues. Yao Yang, go to the teleportation array in Dongxian City with Supervisor Lan and catch them. Knight Sorrow, and I will stay here for now. Lin Yuandao made a series of arrangements. He did not dare to act rashly, as he was worried that someone would come to kill Knight Sorrow. Then, the people of Tianji Tower began to move. Knight Sorrow fed Yun Huang the life spirit fluid and gave him healing medicine at the same time. Chief Tower Master, his injuries are very serious. His internal organs are ruptured, and the bones in his right hand are broken. Knight Sorrow looked at Yun Huang and said, Captain, I won't die yet. It's just that I can't fight with you for a while. Yun Huang, who was in a somewhat dispirited state, said, As long as you don't die, our Tianji Tower has the ability to recover. Lin Yuandao went to Yun Huang and pressed one hand on his shoulder to help him heal. New chapter T9 plus previous chapter #ran hour later. Yun Huang had recovered a lot. Lin Yuandao was of the water attribute, so his healing effect was very strong. Lin Yuandao stood up. Hua Haining, Guo Xiao, Yao Yang, and Lan Yuxuan had all returned. Guo Xiao was carrying an old man. The old man's limbs were broken, his dantian was shattered, and his head was fixed in place. There was also a piece of cloth stuffed in his mouth, so there was no possibility of him committing suicide. Because we were afraid that he would commit suicide, we were prepared. That's why we caught him alive. Guo Xiao threw the old man's body to the ground. Yao Yang, go interrogate him. No matter what method you use, you have to get the answer. Be careful not to let him bite his tongue and commit suicide, Lin Yuandao said to Yao Yang. Yao Yang nodded and directly opened his mouth twice, knocking out the old man's teeth. Then, he carried the old man and walked to the back of the Tianji Tower branch. Supervisor Lan, follow and watch over the treatment. If you don't say anything, you can't die even if you want to. Lin Yuandao then arranged for Lan Yuxuan. Guo Xiao and Hua Haining began to look at the bodies of the other two people. Sometimes, not only the living could speak, but the dead could also speak. This is someone from the Western Nether region. The skull tattoo on his back is a custom of the Western Nether region. After this person became a death warrior, although the tattoo was destroyed, there are still traces of it, Hua Haining said after examining the body. Someone from the Western Nether region. Our Tianji Tower doesn't have much of a dispute with the Western Nether region. To be able to send such a venerable, it can only be the arrangement of a saint. Let's see which one is more specific. Lin Yuandao had a rough idea in his heart. However, he didn't find anything on the second person. There were no marks on his body except for scars. He didn't even have a storage ring. Lin Yuandao looked carefully, looking for flaws. After a while, Lin Yuandao looked at the guy's hair. Chapter 721. Genius 1, Second Remember, Love, Go Divided by a Little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Oomph. He thinks he's flawless, but his hair isn't white. It's pure silver. That's the symbol of the Qingtian region's Silver Devil clan. He should be a descendant of the Silver Dusk Saint. Lin Yuandao's eyes were filled with coldness. The one who was captured alive should be someone sent by Chun Yuan, Guo Xiao said. When Guo Xiao spoke, Yao Yang and Lan Yuxuan came out. Chief Supervisor is right. He's from the Tianfeng dynasty, Yao Yang said. Chief Supervisor Guo, take Yao Yang and accompany Night Sorrow and the others to the city in the sky. I'll take these people to see the Supreme. This matter isn't over yet, Lin Yuandao said. Then, Guo Xiao took Night Sorrow and the others back to the city in the sky. Sikong Chiyu, Yang Lei, and Ajoy were shocked to see Night Sorrow's pale face. Night Sorrow, are you injured? Sikong Chiyu helped Night Sorrow to sit down and said, Yes, I was ambushed. It's nothing, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Who's so shameless? Yang Lei was very angry. At the same time, she grabbed Night Sorrow and checked his injuries. Love go little Sei Wang. Chu, 6 senior sister. Yun Huang's injuries are more serious than mine. Get him some healing medicine in the next few days, Night Sorrow said to Aoi. 6 senior sister, you don't know. Captain was ambushed by a high-level venerable. If we were the main target, we will be dead by now, Ling Long said. You don't have to worry. This time, Tianji Tower will make a big move. If the young master is being assassinated by a high-level venerable, it won't be Tianji Tower. Guo Zhao's face was full of murderous intent. This time, the other party's actions had crossed the bottom line of Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow then introduced Liang Yu to the others. Liang Yu was very polite at this time, cupping his hands in greeting. He was completely different from when he cut off the gray-robed elder's crotch. Liang Yu, you didn't run away at the crucial moment. You stayed behind to help our captain. I, Yin Huang, recognize you as my brother, Yin Huang said after his injuries were checked by the Aoi. Yes, I passed this test as well. Later on, I'll recommend him to our brothers in the team. Exquisite also expressed her attitude. Then Yang Lei talked about Guan Yi and Yu Yang Yu's intention. Master wants you to make the decision. Atoy looked at Night Sorrow and said, We'll let Ho Jian and Shuel Ling deal with this later. If they think it's appropriate, then it's appropriate. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Then, Night Sorrow asked Guo Xiao and Yao Yang to prepare a feast. He went into seclusion to heal his injuries. Yin Huang did the same. Healing pills were only supplementary effects. The main thing was to heal his body. His broken arm greatly affected his combat ability. At this time, on the island in the Realm Sea, 2 corpses were placed in front of Xielan Jun and the others. There is also the inhuman captive. How dare they challenge our bottom line? Then there's no need to be polite. Let's fight. They used a high-level venerable to kill our young master, so we don't have to follow the rules, Xielan Jun said. They're crazy. Zhen Haisheng's face was full of anger. Master K, what do you mean? Xiaolan Jun looked at Lin Yuandao. Let's start an all-out war. The Supreme Elder and a few saints will keep an eye on their saints here. We'll destroy the Tianfeng dynasty first, then attack the Silver Devil clan. Finally, we'll go to the Western Nether region to eradicate the forces behind the saints of the Western Nether region. Okay, then let's do it. We'll block their saints outside Haohai City. Master K, you can lead your men to kill them, Xiaolan Jun said. Master Lin Yuandao, if you need help, just call for Lord Tai Shu. Our men from the North Sea domain are at your disposal, Zhen Haisheng said. He was expressing his stance. The Eastern Xian region and the Northern Sea region were in a complete alliance. Furthermore, Tai Shuyan was the Vice Chief Tower Lord of the Celestial Terminus Tower. His intention was not to interfere with Tai Shuyan's decisions. Thank you, Senior Zhen Haisheng. Our Tianji Tower's men will have no problem wiping them out. The pressure will be on the seniors, Lin Yuandao said. That's not a problem. We'll block them at the border of Haohai City's Realm Sea. If they come to ask for help, we'll kill them. If they want to fight, then let's play big, Xiaolan Jun said. Then I'll go to the Eastern Xian region to mobilize some men. Wu Lingfei's face was full of frost. If you asked who was the angriest, it would be her. She had been silent all this time because she was ready to attack. Master Wu Kei, follow us and kill them. We'll crush them like dry weeds and not give them a chance, Xiaolan Jun said. Then the group moved. Xiaolan Jun and the others also moved their garrison to the border of Haohai City's Realm Sea. Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei left and began to mobilize their men. Night Sorrow went into seclusion for 4 consecutive days to recover from his internal injuries. The high-level Venerable's attacks were too violent and caused him great damage. Night Sorrow only came out of seclusion after he fully recovered. After coming out of seclusion, Night Sorrow went to see Yin Huang. Yin Huang had almost recovered. When he was attacked, unlike Night Sorrow, who was worried about the safety of the people behind him, he dodged to the side and didn't take the full brunt of the attack. Lin Yuandao also helped him recuperate. Now, only the broken bones in his right hand needed time to heal. Yin Huang also came out of seclusion today. Soon after, the two of them went to the training field. When they saw Night Sorrow, they all greeted him. Guan Yi also cupped his hands in greeting to Night Sorrow. First is my senior brother Guan Yi. Whether you agree or not is up to you. However, I want to make one thing clear. Even if my 12th senior brother joins the team, he is only a member of the God-slaying team. He is my senior brother outside of the team. Now, Xueling, Ho Jian, you asked for everyone's opinion, Night Sorrow said. Then Xueling and Ho Jian asked for everyone's opinion. No one objected because Guan Yi had gotten along well with everyone recently. If no one objects, he will temporarily join the God-slaying team. After a few battles, he will be an official member. Night Sorrow announced the final decision. Then, Ling Long pushed Liang Yu to Night Sorrow's side. Next up is Liang Yu. He has interacted with Yin Huang and Ling Long for some time. Now, he also wants to join our group. First of all, Yin Huang and Ling Long, what do you two think? Yishan looked towards Yin Huang and Ling Long. Both of us support this and officially recommend him to the team. However, this also requires everyone's acceptance, Yin Huang said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, Xueling. Ho Jian, how about this? Liang Yu will temporarily join the team. After a few battles, we will make a decision based on the situation. As I said before, brotherhood is the most important thing in the God-slaying team. We will not abandon any of our brothers. We can be their backs, Night Sorrow said. Brother, don't worry. Once you understand the God-slaying team, you will definitely not feel wrong today, Yin Huang said as he patted Liang Yu's shoulder. Chapter 722. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. While Night Sorrow was making arrangements for the God-slaying team, Tianji Tower, Eastern Xian region, and North Sea region gathered their forces and began to attack the Tianfeng dynasty. This time, It was not a battle for territory, but a battle of extermination. While Tianji Tower, Eastern Xian region, and Northern Sea Domain were charging towards the Tianfeng dynasty, Lin Yuandao, Wu Lingfei, Li Zhengxian, Bei Tiangu, and Taishu Yin led the high-level venerables to kill their way to the capital of the Tianfeng dynasty. They didn't plan to give the Tianfeng dynasty a chance. The Tianfeng dynasty was very powerful. They had many high-level honorables and even 3 peak-level honorables. However, how could they stand against 2 saints and a team led by an invincible honorable? All the higher-ups of the Tianfeng dynasty were killed in an instant. They didn't even have the qualifications to fight back. There had never been such a battle in the past. In the past, it wasn't as if there hadn't been any fights between the major forces, but there had been no saints involved. Chun Yuan's sneak attack on the Night Moon dynasty was an exception, and it hadn't been publicized to the outside world. However, it wasn't the case this time. This time, Tianji Tower was an open assassination. After the capital of the Tianfeng dynasty fell, Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, and the others started killing from the central area to the periphery. In other words, none of the higher-ups and managers of the Tianfeng dynasty were left alive. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs.com without destroying the teleportation array. The killing speed was incomparably fast. At this time, Chun Yuan, who was meditating on an island in the Realm Sea, stood up, called out to West Heights Song, and then went to Silver Dusk Saint's tent. "What's the matter? Why are you so flustered?" Silver Sunset Saint opened his eyes and stood up. "My descendant, the Tianfeng dynasty's monarch's life medallion has shattered, and the other 2 peak venerables' life medallions have also shattered. This is a big deal. Let's hurry over and take a look." Chun Yuan's face took on a ghastly expression because the 3 broken life badges belonged to 3 top-grade venerable ones from the Tianfeng dynasty. They're making their move now? This shouldn't be the case. Let's go and take a look. Inxi's face also turned cold. She knew that if the Tianfeng dynasty was destroyed, it would be a big event, and it might just be the beginning. They had just crossed the Realm Sea and were about to head to the teleportation portal in Vast Sea City when they were intercepted. Everlasting Saint, what is the meaning of this? Silver Sunset Saint looked at Xie Lanjun coldly and asked, "Now you're asking me what I mean? Then let me ask you what you mean." Xie Lanjun waved her hand, and through the 2 corpses and the captives who were still alive but were barely humanoid in front of her. Seeing Silver Dusk Saint's corpse, Shi Taitsong and Chun Yuan's expressions changed. "You don't want to say anything?" True Ocean Saint asked. "I don't know what you're talking about." Inxi replied directly. "Since we've already shed all pretense of cordiality, there's no point in pretending to keep up appearances. Inxi, let me see how much you've improved over the years. As for daring to challenge me directly..." Xie Lanjun waved her arm, and a long sword appeared in her hand. "Xie Lanjun, are you really going to fight?" Silver Sunset Saint narrowed his eyes and looked at Xie Lanjun. "I didn't want to fight either, but you forced us to. In fact, I really don't understand how this will benefit you. The Tianfeng dynasty will be destroyed. The Silver Devil clan will be destroyed. The West Green sect will be destroyed soon. Is this the result you want?" Xie Lanjun waved her long sword and said, "Xie Lanjun, how dare you?" Silver Dusk Saint roared. His silver hair shook violently and fell back to his shoulders. "You dared to touch the young master of our extreme celestial palace, and even sent a high-level venerable to assassinate him. What else do I not dare to do? You brought about your own destruction. Since that's the case, I can't maintain peace even if I want to. Only then can we fight." Xie Lanjun exhaled and said. Now that she had shed all pretense of cordiality, she had also let go of the burden. "You brought this upon yourself." Long Xuanqing's figure appeared, but he appeared behind Xie Lanjun and the others. "Senior Long Xiansheng, aren't you going to stop this? This will damage the strength of the 9 regions." Silver Dusk Saint looked at Long Xiansheng and asked, "Inxi, your words are unreasonable. It's fine if you attack the younger generation, but if they attack you, it will damage the strength of the 9 regions? I just found out that you crossed the line. Long Xiansheng stood with his hands behind his back. At this moment, True Sea Saint moved and charged towards West Tide Song. South Heaven Saint was also facing Chen Yuan. Flying Tiger Saint and Black Dragon Saint were also fighting. Inshi, I'm very disappointed in you. Now, we can only talk through battle. Xiaolan Jun also moved and slashed her sword towards Silver Dusk. What kind of situation was it when 8 saints were fighting? The sky was dark, and the air was filled with sharp energy. It's better not to hurt the 9 regions world. Long Xiansheng stomped his right foot, and a yellow energy spread out in all directions with him as the center. As the yellow energy spread out, the sword chi and blade light landed on the ground. Not even a speck of dust flew up. Because it was a targeted battle, Xiaolanju inside had the upper hand, especially since Chun Yuan was being suppressed by South Heaven Saint. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated and killed. True Sea Saint was also completely suppressing West Tide Song. On the other hand, Flying Tiger Saint and Black Dragon Saint were evenly matched. The most intense battle was between Xiaolan Jun and Silver Dusk Saint. The area where the two of them were fighting had spatial cracks spreading out in all directions like a spiderweb. However, Silver Dusk Saint could only defend and did not have any ability to counterattack. Inshi controlled the wind and water attribute, while Xiaolan Jun controlled the wind and lightning attribute. In terms of attributes, Xiaolan Jun was obviously stronger. Let's go. Seeing that the situation was bad, Silver Dusk Saint shouted and wanted to leave. If Inshi wanted to leave, it would be difficult for Xiaolan Jun to kill her. However, Xiaolan Jun did not allow her to leave the battlefield and started to surround her. At this moment, True Sea Saint, who was fighting against West Tide Song, turned around and heavily injured Chen Yuan, who was using all his energy to defend against South Heaven Saint. True Sea Saint, you're despicable. Chen Yuan, who was stabbed in the back and had a hole in his chest, cursed. Who are you blaming if you're stupid? Didn't your master tell you that you have to be observant and alert during a battle? True Sea Saint, who was suppressing West Tide Song again and did not let him escape, said something that made Chen Yuan want to vomit blood. If you want to fight or run, I don't care. However, I have something to say first. If I hear that you're attacking cultivators below the Saint stage again, then wait for me to hunt you down. Of course, if you think you can withstand my anger, then do as you please. Long Xiansheng looked at the situation in the sky and said, Silver Dusk Saint wanted to save Chen Yuan, but Xiaolan Jun did not give her the chance. Her long sword was covered with wind blades and lightning, constantly intercepting her movements. Following a scream, Chen Yuan's neck was cut off by the South Heaven Saint's sword. Then, he added another sword, shattering his spirit sea. E only 6Y11 positive, square root version 5. His, all pirate KF version 1. At this moment, Silver Dusk Saint knew that the situation was set. She quickly drew her sword and continued to retreat. Then, a white light appeared on her body and she left through the sky. Chapter 723. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xiaolan Jun, you're despicable. I won't let you go. Silver Dusk Sage's voice came from the sky. The moment you used your despicable means, I've already made you my enemy. If you're not convinced, I'll be waiting for you at the Silver Devil Villa. Xiaolan Jun shouted. Then, Xiaolan Jun charged towards West Tide Song. Since they had already shed all pretense of cordiality, she had to deal the greatest blow to her opponent. West Tide Song was already having a hard time dealing with true Ocean Sage. Now that Xiaolan Jun, who was much stronger than him, was attacking him as well, he couldn't hold on any longer. In just a few moments, his left arm was chopped off. Just you wait. West Tide Song transformed into a ball of black energy and fled into the distance. There's no need to chase him. That's death disintegration. He's using his body's energy to execute his ultimate move. We can't chase after him. However, he won't be able to come out for the time being, Long Xianxing said. Then, Xiaolanjun, Southern Gansheng, True Ocean Sage, and Flying Tiger Sage began to besiege Black Dragon Sage. Huh. Well, I won't die unjustly under the encirclement of 4 sages. However, it's a pity that I met a few unscrupulous companions. Black Dragon Sage laughed and transformed into his true form to fight with the others. Black Dragon Sage, I don't want to see this happen either. Isn't the realm of unbounded desolation fine? Why do you have to get involved with them and send a high-level venerable to assassinate him? That's not right. Flying Tiger Sage sighed. Perhaps you're right. However, things have already come to this point. It has nothing to do with me. Don't think of me as such a despicable person, Black Dragon Sage said. If you want to turn back and make a promise, it's fine. Xiaolanjun said. She didn't want to lose the strength of a 9-realm saint. Besides, the ambush had nothing to do with Black Dragon Sage. All right, let's stop and talk. If we can't, we'll fight again. Long Xianxing said. Hearing Long Xuanqing's words, the group stopped fighting and looked at Long Xianxing at the same time. Hey Kuei, the realm of unbounded desolation is not doing well. Do the demonic beasts have nowhere to go? Silver Dusk Saint and the others are scheming against us. What are you doing here? Long Xianxing said. Black Dragon Saint's name was He Kuei. Senior Long Xianxing. It's not that He Kuei is unreasonable. It's just that there are some things that He Kuei doesn't understand. The Black Dragon Sage transformed into his human form and said, All right, if you make a promise, they will not make things difficult for you. Long Xianxing said, As long as you don't humiliate my race and my dignity, that's fine, the Black Dragon Saint said. Even in the face of danger, the Black Dragon Saint still maintained his bottom line. It's not as serious as you think. Just don't get involved with Silver Dusk Saint and the others. Also, when everyone is fighting for the 9 zones, I hope you can contribute to the 9 zones as well, Xiaolanjun said. I only just found out that they sent high-level venerables to kill low-level venerables. I despise them for abandoning their companions and running away. They're not the same kind of people. If the 9 regions world needs help, I will help. Black Dragon Shunghei Kuei said. Then go back. Xiaolanju nodded. The Black Dragon Saint's promise was enough for the current situation. Thank you, Senior Long Xianxing. Junior He Kuei will remember this. The Black Dragon Saint bowed. Well, you were just muddle-headed. Long Xianxing shook his head and said, Go back. If you have time, come and drink with me. The Flying Tiger Saint threw a jar of wine to the Black Dragon Saint. Flying Tiger, I can't do anything for the unbounded desolation. I'll leave some things to you. If you need anything, let me know. After receiving the jar of wine, the Black Dragon Saint left the battlefield. Let's go to the Silver Devil Villa now. Since we've already made our move, we won't give them a chance to rest, Xiaolanjun said. She couldn't give Shi a chance to return to the Silver Devil Villa first. Xiaolanjun, let me ask for a favor. I have some friendship with the Moon Emperor. After taking down the Tianfeng dynasty, it's better for us to return the cities that originally belonged to the Night Moon dynasty to them. Seeing that Xiaolanjun and the others were about to leave, Long Xianxing said, Long Xianxing, you can rest assured. Even if you didn't ask, we would have done the same. Xiaolanjun nodded. Go. As for the Sky Underworld Saint, I'll deal with him. Long Xianxing said. Just as Night Sorrow was about to leave for the island, Lu Trin Swan arrived. Lu Trin Swan said, Young Master, His Lordship has asked me to pass on a message. He wants you to arrange for people to take over the cities that were previously occupied by the Tianfeng dynasty and the Night Moon dynasty. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat surprised. Lu Trin Swan said, The Tianfeng dynasty has been wiped out. Now, all the major cities are ownerless. Young Master, you can send people to take over the cities. As long as the flag of the Night Moon dynasty flies in the cities, the other dynasties won't dare to attack. Okay, I'll make the arrangements. Night Sorrow then called Yi Linglan over and asked him to bring people to take over the cities. Seeing Lu Trin Swan leave with the people of the Night Moon dynasty, Yin Huang muttered, Looks like we've really gone overboard this time. The Tianfeng dynasty has been wiped out. How can we not go overboard? Captain is the young master of the Tianji Tower. They've crossed the line by using high-level venerables to assassinate us. We'll definitely fight them to the death. Yang Lei sighed and said, I didn't expect saints to be so stupid. If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. If they know, there'll be a war. Why bother? They didn't succeed. Once they succeeded, they would have retreated. Without any clues, who could do anything to them? It's not right to make a move without evidence. The saints won't do that. Alway thought for a moment and said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was the truth. If there was no evidence, Xiaolan Jun and the others couldn't do anything. Then, everyone continued to cultivate. However, Yin Huang could only watch. His arm was still recovering. On the third night, after Yiling Lan went to take over the cities, Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao arrived at the city in the sky. Aunt Fei, what's the situation now? Knight Sorrow asked. The Tianfeng dynasty has been completely wiped out. The Qingtian domain's Silver Devil clan has been wiped out. We'll go to the West Nether domain later to wipe out the West Green sect, Wu Lingfei said. Is there any trouble? Knight Sorrow asked. He knew that the saints had completely fallen out with each other this time. Taiyuan Saint Chen Yuan has been killed. Shi Taicong gave up his body and used death disintegration to escape. He won't be able to come out for a while. After all, the destruction of one's body is very serious. The Black Dragon Saint has made a promise. The problem is almost solved. The only trouble is that Shi has escaped, Wu Lingfei said. Seeing that Knight Sorrow was fine, she felt a little more at ease. I-6. Positive. Version 1. Why didn't you kill the Black Dragon Saint? Aren't you worried that he'll break the promise? Sikong Chuyu asked. The Black Dragon Saint didn't participate in the sneak attack on Knight Sorrow. In addition, Long Xiansheng was also present. If he wants to break the promise, he has to think twice, Wu Lingfei explained. Chapter 724. Genius 1. Second, remember love divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yin Huang wasn't the only one worried about this. Everyone was worried about this. The revenge of an unscrupulous saint was too terrifying. Anyone below the saint realm would be killed instantly. You don't have to worry too much about this. Long Xianxing warned her that if she dares to attack anyone below the saint realm, Long Xiansheng will deal with her. Love Go Little say, Chu Xiaolan Jun and the others also appeared in the city in the sky. That's better. Otherwise, it would really kill me. Knight Sorrow said. However, she hates you to the bone. It's hard to say whether she will attack you or not. You must be careful. Zhen Haixing reminded Knight Sorrow. How can I be careful? She is a saint. If she wants to kill me, I'm afraid I won't even have the ability to resist. Knight Sorrow said with a bitter smile. Xiaolan Jun and the others also shook their heads because this was almost unsolvable, unless Knight Sorrow was protected by someone at all times. During this period of time, follow Aunt Fei, Wu Lingfei said. Then, the saints left the city in the sky. After the war, there were many things to do. Aunt Fei, I brought trouble again this time. Knight Sorrow said apologetically as he drank tea with Wu Lingfei under the lake. How is it you who brought trouble? It's us elders who didn't handle this matter well. You shouldn't be the one who should be apologetic. Wu Lingfei said. The destruction of the Tianfeng dynasty is good news for Night Moon. The other dynasties are not as happy as the Tianfeng dynasty. Knight Sorrow said. Night Moon dynasty has fewer and fewer obstacles to rise. The biggest obstacle is probably the 7-star dynasty because it has a saint. However, the saint of the 7-star dynasty hasn't appeared for many years. He didn't even appear in the war between the dynasties 20 years ago. Wu Lingfei said, there are more things to do. Aunt Fei can't be quiet. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. It's okay. No matter who it is now, no one dares to challenge the Eastern Profound region. Wu Lingfei said, Ani Fei is not in the Eastern Xian region. You have to be careful outside. Knight Sorrow was also worried about Wu Lingfei's safety. Between saints, unless the gap is too big, it is almost impossible to kill them. Furthermore, Anifei's situation. Speed is fast. Not everyone could threaten Anifei. Love, go little, say, W. Chu Ling Fei smiled at Night Sorrow. Then Anifei has to be careful. Silver Dusk, Saint, is a vile person. Don't use any tricks. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew what Wu Ling, concubine's true body was. Speed was her forte. Anifei has been in the nine-domain world for many years, so her experience is not fake. You, on the other hand, should focus more on spatial fissures. That way, you'll have one more life-saving method, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. The two drank tea and chatted. Night Sorrow didn't feel much pressure. After all, Wu Lingfei was by his side. She wasn't someone who could be killed easily. While they were drinking tea and chatting, Yiling Lan came and told Night Sorrow that the takeover of the city had gone smoothly. Then I'll go connect to the teleportation array later, Night Sorrow said. No need. Those teleportation arrays weren't destroyed. We went to the main teleportation array of Tianfeng Royal City and took back the fragments of the teleportation crystals. They have already connected to Night Moon's teleportation array, Yiling Lan said. Then I'm relieved. Also, if someone attacks, don't resist. Just retreat. I'll take care of it, Night Sorrow said. He didn't want Night Moon to lose any members. At present, Night Moon's members were still lacking in combat strength. If the upper echelons couldn't fight, they would be at a disadvantage. Therefore, he was worried. Young master, don't worry. I have a plan for this. Yiling Lan nodded. He could see Night Moon's situation clearly. Afterward, Yiling Lan went to make the necessary arrangements. Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei continued to chat. Night Sorrow was quite happy because things were developing in a good direction. After drinking tea for a while, Night Sorrow sent Wu Lingfei to rest and went to the training field to watch the others cultivate. Look, VS forever plus free. Speak. Liang Yu and Guan Yi were currently cultivating joint attacks. If they wanted to join the God-slaying squad, they needed to know joint attacks. Night Sorrow and Yin Huang took out a jug of wine and chatted as they drank. It's uncomfortable to stay here. Once my arm recovers, we'll go to that island and continue cultivating in the chaotic streams of space in the Realm Sea, Yin Huang said. He couldn't move his arm easily and felt quite sullen. That's fine. Once your arm recovers, we'll take everyone to the Realm Sea to cultivate. Cultivating there will give us a solid foundation. But you and Ling Long have to control it well. Nothing can happen. We can't lose any of our brothers, Night Sorrow said after a moment's thought. Yin Huang nodded. He knew that Night Sorrow hoped that everyone's cultivation would improve quickly, but safety was the most important thing. Night Sorrow and the three women waited until evening before returning to the mansion. 13. I'm a bit scared. This world is too chaotic. I used to think that fifth-stage experts were experts and sovereigns were amazing. But now, even saints view you as an enemy, Yang Lei said, looking at Night Sorrow. It's decided by height. If I were a low-level cultivator, they wouldn't be interested in me. Don't worry, ninth senior sister. With Anifei here, no one could do anything to me, Night Sorrow said, hugging Yang Lei. As we grow stronger, our opponents will also become stronger. If we want to stand firm, we have to improve our cultivation. Sikong Chiyu nodded. I haven't had time to check these days. How's my 12th senior brother in the team? Night Sorrow asked. Guan Yi is very hardworking. Everyone recognizes him. There shouldn't be a problem, I always said. That's good. This way, I won't make things difficult for him, and I won't make things difficult for him. Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. Whether or not Guan Yi could join the God-slaying team was very important. If something went wrong, not only would it affect their relationship as brothers, it would also hurt Liu Yangyu's reputation. Besides, Liu Yangyu would also lose face. After drinking tea for a while, Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei went to rest. They wanted to give Night Sorrow and Aoi some space. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow sent Aoi back to rest. In front of Aoi's room, Night Sorrow opened his arms and hugged Aoi. Aoi also hugged Night Sorrow's waist. 13th junior brother's chest is very warm. It would be better if Sixth Senior Sister could feel at ease, Night Sorrow said, looking at Aoi's blushing face. Chapter 725. Genius 1, Second Remember Love. Go/little. I'll provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hugging Aoi's body, Night Sorrow instinctively reacted. Aoi, who was leaning on Night Sorrow, felt it. 13. Sixth Senior Sister isn't free right now. Can we do it later? Aoi's voice was pitifully soft. Night Sorrow was a cultivator, so he couldn't hear her. Yes, Sixth Senior Sister. I didn't think about that. Hugging Sixth Senior Sister makes me feel warm and secure, Night Sorrow said. Aoi then kissed Night Sorrow and ran back to the pavilion. Night Sorrow smiled and returned to the main building. Then he sat down and cultivated. Now that the sense of danger was getting stronger, he had to hurry up and improve his cultivation. Night Sorrow communicated with the space-time pagoda to help him. His main goal was to improve his bloodline power and soul power. Night Sorrow wanted to improve the power of Spatial Rend. He wanted to reach the realm where he could tear through space and enter spatial turbulence as soon as possible. That way, he would have more ways to escape if he was chased. In the morning, while the girls were washing up, Night Sorrow was cultivating his spear arts. Aoi also brought him a basin of water. 13. Why did you come back to cultivate last night? Why didn't you accompany Sixth Senior Sister? I'm completely convinced by you. Don't tell me you want Sixth Senior Sister to wait for you in your room? Yanglei looked at Night Sorrow with disappointment. No, some things are better left to nature, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Some things couldn't be explained. Ninth Junior Sister, why are you so rude now? You dare to say anything? Aoi glared at Yanglei. Sixth Senior Sister, I'm doing this for the sake of our family. Yanglei didn't care about Aoi's glare. Ninth Senior Sister, Chuyu, the two of you have already advanced to the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage. You could take the Extreme Void Pill. However, it's better for you to stabilize your cultivation base first before taking it. Don't leave behind any side effects that might cause you to have an unstable foundation. Sixth Senior Sister, the same goes for you. Night Sorrow changed the topic while wiping his face. During the time that Night Sorrow was in the Realm C, the cultivation bases of the 3 women had improved tremendously. Sikong Chuyu and Yanglei had both advanced to the late Void Inquiry stage and reached the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Aoi had also advanced to the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage. We're your senior sisters. We know what's going on. We won't make you worry, Aoi said with a smile. After that, Night Sorrow brought the women to the training ground. The women followed the others to cultivate while Night Sorrow used the void-splitting spear to practice his spear techniques and improve his cultivation base. Many people did not pay much attention to the cultivation of their cultivation base after entering the Venerable Realm. All of them focused on improving their cultivation base as quickly as possible. However, Night Sorrow felt that having a high cultivation base was also a foundation. There were many benefits to it. Thus, he never gave up. Night Sorrow did not use his true chi. Just by waving the void-splitting spear casually, he could cause the energy of heaven and earth to surge. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Wu Lingfei came over and sat beside the tea table. She took out a tea set and began to make tea. After cultivating for a while, Night Sorrow came to Wu Lingfei's side and sat down to drink tea. After sizing up Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. While your cultivation base is progressing steadily, don't give up on improving your cultivation base. This is the foundation. The higher your cultivation base is, the smoother your cultivation will be. Also, your body's cultivation base is progressing well. The essence chi smoke is close to 6 zhang. You're not far from the realm where your essence chi smoke will soar into the sky. I won't hide it from you, Ani Fei. My body's cultivation base has reached the final stage of the 5th stage. Once I break through this stage, my cultivation base will be on par with the Venerable Realm. At that time, my strength will increase even more, Night Sorrow said. That's good. A strong body is the foundation of a cultivator's great achievements. It's like a bottle. A big bottle, a strong bottle, can hold more energy. Also, you're cultivating the void-splitting spear. The strength of your body is an important factor in resisting the spatial turbulence, Wu Lingfei said. Entering the spatial turbulence? Isn't the strength of the protective barrier the most important factor in resisting the spatial turbulence? Night Sorrow asked. Normally, that's the case. But have you ever thought about it? The body is the core of the protective barrier. If the core isn't strong, the protective barrier won't be stable. It's like a small tree branch. If you put a heavy armor on it, it won't be able to support it. Spatial turbulence and spatial strangulation will attack through the protective barrier. Therefore, a strong body is very important. Wu Lingfei explained the importance of a strong body to Night Sorrow. Yishang nodded, understanding the logic behind it. Many demon beasts and spirit beast cultivators, as well as some ancient families, have special offensive secret arts and innate divine abilities. The protective barrier can't completely block attacks. At that time, the strength of the body is the key to defense. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow again. I understand innate divine abilities. I also know a little about ancient families. But where did their secret arts come from? Were they created by their ancestors? Night Sorrow asked curiously. How do I put it? Demon beasts and spirit beasts can transform. After transforming, they're no different from humans. Some marry human women, and some marry human men. Their descendants have a chance to inherit their parents' bloodline and inheritance. The more talented they are, the more likely they will inherit their parents' innate divine abilities. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow about the inheritance of ancient families. I see. Then our Night Moon dynasty is the same. Could it be that I also have the bloodline of demon beasts or spirit beasts? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. What's so surprising about that? It depends on whether or not your family has records of it. Spatial Rend isn't simple, but the situation isn't necessarily the same as what Anifei said. There are also some ancient bloodlines. Their parents or ancestors have cultivated to a level recognized by the heavenly Tao. They can be passed down to their descendants. Do you really care about this? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. It's nothing. I'm just curious. I feel that races are very complicated. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead and said, It's not complicated. Perhaps there is racial discrimination. Humans look down on demon beasts, and demon beasts with extraordinary talents look down on humans. For example, the Golden Dragon race will never marry with other races. Wu Lingfei said, Yong Chu Jio Yi Fei read novels. Ani Fei, you don't look down on humans, do you? Night Sorrow asked Wu Lingfei. How do I put it? It's not a matter of looking down on him or not. It's mainly a matter of getting along with him. He has nothing to do with Ani Fei, so why would I look down on him or not? What about you? Wu Lingfei asked Yishang. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, In fact, I have some thoughts. I can't deny that some evil races are repelled. However, Ani Fei is the one I respect the most in my heart. This will never change. Indeed, it is impossible to say that there is no rejection at all. Some races are born to fight, while others are born to be evil. This is something that cannot be changed. However, many of the higher-ranked races are arrogant and disdain to do such despicable things. Wu Lingfei told Yishang some things that no one else knew. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.